with him at Kent State. Would you guys go Lambert, or did we ever get an answer?
Who was I picking against? Lambert or James Franklin?
Lambert for me,
Hall of Famer.
Easy.
That was the whole reason I brought the Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
The late Toby Keith would have been 64 years old. Kevin Bacon, 67. Ultimately better career, Toby Keith or Kevin Bacon?
They call it 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon for a reason.
You're saying Kevin Bacon worked with a lot of people, so he's better than Toby Keith?
Yeah. He's had so many projects and has worked with all of the greats.
Here's the thing. I think Kevin Bacon is a little underrated. I've always been a fan. But Toby Keith was a frontline guy for a long time. Kevin Bacon's never been that guy.
I was going to ask you, best Kevin Bacon role.
Toby Keith
probably Footloose.
Was a frontline guy. Love his music.
He seemed like a good guy.
I've actually heard he was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Toby Keith. I've heard some stories about him.
Oklahoma Sooner.
Kevin Bacon seems like a good dude.
I love Toby Keith more than I do Kevin Bacon, but I'm going to say Kevin Bacon.
I think we will probably remember. Like, what is Toby Keith, Red Solo Cup? What's his number one?
Number one is courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. Came out after 9/11.
Putting a boot in your ass is the American way.
You may have blackened our eye, but
that one gets played when the United States bombed Iran, that song came back.
Now, I know ultimately the Dixie Chicks did this to themselves, but was it Toby Keith the one that really pointed it out that ultimately kind of killed their career?
Did he start that?
He did.
I think they got sideways.
He did say
they're just the chicks now.
They are.
He was he's a big patriotic guy, and I think he just spoke out and it caught fire.
Yeah, I did not remember Toby Keith started all that.
Should have been a Cowboys, probably his best song.
How do you like me now?
Yep.
Hey, he's got I think
Good as I Once Was is really good.
That's a good song too.
I think I would have to go Toby Keith.
A Beer for My Horses.
I'd never liked that. I thought that was he and Willie. I always thought that was kind of a hokey song. Honestly.
How Do You Like Me Now? How many of that did we sing to girls back in the day? Red Solo Cup, Made in America.
I think How Do You Like Me Now? How Do You Like Me Now is my favorite he did.
Oh, I Love This Bar is really good too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. Who's Your Daddy? Not bad.
Keith publicly criticized the Dixie Chicks, calling them unpatriotic, using imagery during his concerts to compare Natalie Maines to Saddam Hussein.
That's probably a bit over the top.
Do you think?
I maybe took it a step too far there, Tobe.
Yeah, Natalie Maines, which one was she? She was the lead singer.
She was the lead singer. She was the one that said it. She was the one that said it, and it drug the whole band down.
Yep.
But they had a cross-eyed fiddle player, right?
I don't know about that.
Those were sisters.
Sure. Why not? I think they did.
The guitarist and the fiddle player.
Yeah.
Okay. That is our four downs today. Brought to you in part by our friends at Champy's that bring you the show every day in the final hour of the show, champyschicken.com. I'll save that for tomorrow. Keldrick Falk of Auburn sent out a picture of his shoes. Nike shoes, of course. Cleats for the upcoming season.
Do you have the shoe size? I'm going to guess a 14.
I would go 16.
16?
It did not have a shoe size. But those are good-looking shoes if you're an Auburn fan or Syracuse fan, but Auburn fan in this case. Only brand I ever wore from the time I was a kid. Just being in that brand and seeing it on the Auburn jersey is cool.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light. is on now.
Here we go on a live show on a Wednesday. Trivia for these guys later. We'll tell you about Odie's in a second. We got a lot of college football to get to. Our college football 40 and 40 preseason ranking, something we've done for almost 2 decades, goes to number 3 today. And we'll get to them coming up in a moment. A national championship contender. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Tyler and Forrester behind the big glass. Little T still on a little vacation. She's back with us when we all convene in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. Live shows all next week from Atlanta and SEC Media Days. Normal time slot. I know we've adjusted those over the years, but we'll be there 9 to 12 with other great content 24 hours a day, all next week from Atlanta and SEC Media Days. It'll be a lot of fun. Emily Grace McWhorter, her interviews up from the University of Alabama on our platform and all the other stuff, including the pennant Grace yesterday. Bad news for her Braves last night. We'll talk about the history there.
I think it's normal news for the Braves.
As well. But we'll start with a little EA Sports college football simulation. Now, just around the table, everybody's mic's open real quickly. Video game simulations, there's 100 of them. Do you put any value in them at all? You first, Forrester.
None. 0.
Tyler.
Not really.
Yeah. The Lance.
Well, I mean, I did at one point. I was down $7,400 to a bookmaker in 1992, and we let Minnesota and Chicago play it out on Sega to see what we were going to do on side total.
I remember this story.
I don't remember this story. Tell this story.
Yeah, you've told this story
somewhere
before.
So actually it was, my junior year, third fall, Tuscaloosa. Just an awful weekend. It was me and 3 other buddies. You know, we had one account that we would play with. And so I called. I remember, hey, it's 5:03. I was like, can I get that balance Monday night?
Can I get that balance?
And I'll never forget. I mean, he had a big gold eagle medallion. He was a Birmingham guy. Yeah, buddy. He was like, I got you down $7,400. I was like, damn, that's a lot. I was like, how big of a turnaround could I play tonight? And he's like, how big you want?
Yeah, I'll take all your money, buddy. Yeah.
And I was like, how about 1,500? And if you don't know how a turn works, you got to hit both sides. It pays 4 to 1. You lose one side, you lose your bet plus double juice. You lose both sides. Double bet, double juice.
So this would get you only down 1,400. You're almost out of the hole.
Right, but you got to hit both sides or you continue to go down. So I was like, what about a $1,500 turn? He's like, $1,500 turn. He's like, I'll take it, brother. And I said, okay, let me call you back because I'll never forget. It was the Vikings. It was when Denny Green was coaching the Vikings, Bears. And so we put that thing on simulation and we could not figure out what direction to go. And we let it play 3 or 4 times. And just had a gut feeling Minnesota and over. We played it. It went over in the third quarter. Minnesota dominated the game. So we lost $1,400. We celebrated that night like you can never believe. The very next week, almost same situation. We've got a Monday night game with 49ers and Falcons when Deion was playing for the Falcons. We took the Falcons. And we got blown out. We ended up having to drive to the casino that night. We pulled all our money. We gambled all night. We lost it all and got on a payment plan.
Got on a payment
plan.
But
I did believe in the simulation back in the day.
Okay.
Well, it worked. The simulation worked. It was the casino. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked in a big-time fashion there.
I don't believe them. The first one I saw for this football season, I mentioned yesterday, had Texas A&M and Penn State playing for the national championship. And there aren't 2 teams that lose more big games than Texas A&M and Penn State. So I don't believe that one.
Well, this is what we're getting to, Brown, because that did include Texas A&M and Penn State. It's the EA Sports college football simulation from the fine folks at Yahoo. They did this, and USA Today did this. And it's 100 simulations they did. Now, if you're not familiar with EA Sports, they've got the coaches in it. Realistic rosters, the players can be in there with their grading systems and all that. One team won the national championship 20 times, as Brown just mentioned, is Penn State.
Unbelievable.
20 times. Oregon won it 15 times. Georgia won it 12 times. Clemson, our 40 and 40 team today at number 3, won it 10 times. Miami won it 8 times.
Burn the game.
Texas won it 4 times. Oklahoma won it 3 times. Other SEC teams that won it, Florida once, Alabama once, A&M once, LSU once. The reason why we throw it out here in a second, 7 different SEC teams won it, 4 different Big Ten teams won it, 4 different Big 12 teams won it, Notre Dame won it, and 4 different ACC teams won it. Duke won it 5 times.
Duke?
Yeah, I got a question. Who's programmed this game?
The Blue Duke grad? He was like, I can't do more than 5, but I'm going to do 5. They'll know it's me if I do more than 5.
Duke won it 5 times.
Alabama wins it once. LSU wins it once. Duke wins it 5 times.
It's a reminder, college basketball on the shelves.
I
this
guess
fall.
Darian Mensah is a Heisman finalist. Well worth the money they paid him.
Boy, I mean, they got a deal.
Manny Diaz holding up a crystal trophy.
Did you see that?
No.
Or the dev team is entirely made up of Duke grads.
That could be it. I mean, I think of them as a law school, but maybe they got a good computer science program. I don't know.
They do.
Do they?
So zero. When you
Yeah.
throw me Duke 5 of the 100 simulations, no thank you.
I will say this, and this is not, Lance, please hear me out. I don't intend this as a shot at you. I'm just saying I view things kind of different. We all view things in various aspects. We view some things the same, some things differently. Lance is one of those. And by the way, he's been right about this. So I should point that out, that when you start seeing public confidence stack up on a certain outcome, you tend to want to go the other way. Why is that? Because you just actually gave a great example. The public's generally wrong.
Yeah, public opinion is just
in the betting market, right?
Yeah, in the betting market, it's just not good.
Yeah, it's just not good. I sometimes I feel like
If it looks too easy, it's not. Right?
Sometimes I feel like Lance puts too much stock in that, but that's just my opinion. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying my opinion is I'm like, the game's going to be played. There seems to be so much public confidence in Penn State right now.
There is.
They
were our 40 and 40 team yesterday. If you missed the show, you want to go back and see our Penn State breakdown.
There just seems to be a lot of public confidence in Penn State getting over the hump. And you're ignoring a lot of history to look at that.
That's the thing. I just don't understand it. If this is an unseen with Julian Sayin in Ohio State, okay, we've seen Ohio State do it. We've now seen Ryan Day win a national championship. I can even understand the Texas to a degree. I guess. I mean, it's kind of similar to what you get with James Franklin in Penn State.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how Penn State has come out of nowhere. Like, I get Clemson. We've seen it more with Clemson has, elite quarterback play. Dabo wins championships. So I see all of this outside of, the ones we haven't seen are Oregon, Penn State, Texas.
I mean, you're right. It feels like, and maybe it's just in my bubble. You mentioned our voters had 4 Penn State, 5, 6, however many it was.
Yes, it was 5 Penn State.
5 Penn State number ones. Yeah. This thing has, this is a public opinion. I mean, the simulation is driven by a little bit of public opinion there. They didn't have Kent State winning 40 for a reason, right? And they had Penn State winning 40 for a reason. It just feels like there's public sentiment behind Penn State. And I'm kind of with Lance on this one. That feels like a bad thing for Penn State.
I'm going to assume that the game comes with a top 25 preseason poll.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Is it consistent, though?
I think Alabama is the highest rated team in EA Sports College Football this year. More on that in a second.
Yeah.
So, wait, they've won the simulation one time, and they're the highest rated.
Yeah, that really does not add up, does it?
I think I saw that somewhere, that Alabama's team rating is higher than anyone else.
So this game makes no sense.
It's a video game. I just started it off for a little fun in here. We'll jump into some that's still more commentary because it continues to be talking season. But we'll get into somebody who thinks Alabama's going to be really, really good this year in football after you hear from a couple of great sponsors. One of them, in reality, you just heard a great gambling story from Lance. Hemphill brings you Lance's Lock every day. When he gives you Lance's Lock, they're not off the Sega machine, I promise you.
You don't have a Sega anymore.
I do not have a Sega anymore, but 2-1 last night. Your free play was the Milwaukee Brewers over the Dodgers. Jump on board, win with us. More Major League Baseball action up and available. Again, a free play every single day at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling. Any of these issues arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. It is a household name in Birmingham for a reason. Because, number one, he's a Birmingham guy. Alexander grew up in Birmingham. It's his community. Number two, it's headquartered right here in Birmingham. They may operate nationally, but they are headquartered in Birmingham for more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members that has recovered more than $2 billion. How do you do that? Well, you got some core values, right? And they work. His core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Shannara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. So when you find yourself in need of a lawyer, Call the Alexander Shannara trial attorney, Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
And once again, bounce to our YouTube channel to check out E.G., Emily Grace McWhorter's interview with Jeremy Bernard. A lot of people counting on him to be another clutch receiver for the Tide again this season on that offense. That interview, very interesting about the personality that Bernard brings to the Crimson and White. You get that on our YouTube channel at Next Round Live. At Next Round Live there on YouTube. Set your alerts there. And you can catch her every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:15 on the pennant race as well. All right, speaking of Alabama's offense, and Bernard's part of that, somebody thinks Alabama's offense is going to be one of the best in the country this year.
This jumped out at me this morning. Mike Griffith, who's been on the show, covers Georgia Dog Nation, ranked all 16 SEC offenses. All 16. Just off the top of your head, if you said, I think this will be the worst offense in the SEC, you would say who?
The worst offense in the SEC?
This year, yep.
Mississippi State.
For me, it'll be Kentucky.
Okay, y'all got the bottom two, according to Mike's. 15 Mississippi State, 16 Kentucky. And I would assume probably both of y'all would have said the other one would be next.
Oh, yeah. Then I really don't know because, do you go Vanderbilt? I don't know.
He did, yeah. Okay. You're tracking with Mike all of a sudden. So you kind of grown. You might not have gone Kentucky next? No, State next?
I don't know if I mean, with Jeff Lebby and the quarterback they have there, I don't know if I would go. I don't know if I'd go there next.
Boy, that offense was in the shitter last year.
It was bad.
I mean, I think it'll be better, but I just don't know.
It's almost got to be better.
Yeah, I don't know how good it's going to be.
I'm like you. I think I'd almost flush Diego and Vandy next.
Well, he's got them 14. Yeah. He's got Tennessee 13.
And that's where it gets really interesting is how Joey Aguilar and the losing Nico late in the process, how that's going to disrupt things, or will it at all?
And as Lance frequently points out on this show, you focus so much on the loss of Nico, you don't talk enough about the loss of Dylan Sampson. That was really the best player on their offense last year.
Yeah, I mean, that was their formula. 2 years ago, it was great receivers, it was great quarterback play, but last year it was running the football and it was playing great defense.
And 4 or 5 offensive line starters. There's a lot in Tennessee that you're like, I'm worried.
And I get it. I mean, I trust Heupel's offense typically, but when you start to look at quarterbacks, because Aguilar, although he's got experience, kind of an unknown in this league, when you start stacking quarterbacks, Aguilar is way down the list.
I mean, Arkansas would get into the conversation pretty quick, I think.
He's got them 10.
But I trust Bobby Petrino much more than I trust Jeff Lebby. This is year 2 with Bobby Petrino, same quarterback in Taylor Green who can do a lot of different things. I think Arkansas, and I'm not going to say it's going to equate to wins, but I think Arkansas is going to be tough to get off the field at times.
Taylor Green got way closer to 4,000 all-purpose yards, 4,000 total yards.
He's a good quarterback, man.
Than we probably remember. And
but then you start, but it's not how good is Taylor and how good is Arkansas. It's who you got to put them ahead. Is why I said you get to Arkansas pretty quick in the conversation there.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of good offenses.
Yeah, this is Mike Griffith.
Potentially good offense.
Mike Griffith's opinions, Dog Nation. He's got Ole Miss 8th. That feels a touch low for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They're normally better than 8.
Well, I mean, you're starting a new quarterback. I think the problem you're going to have in the SEC and a lot of places in college football, you're assuming on what the quarterback's going to be. That includes in places like Tuscaloosa where you've got an unknown, unseen quarterback. I mean,
You've seen him a little bit, though, actually. I mean, just a little bit. Not a
Ty
ton.
Simpson?
Yeah. No. Austin Simmons.
Austin Simmons a little bit. Ty Simpson a little bit. You've seen some of these guys a little bit, but you make big assumptions off of the people around them. Get to the good stuff, man.
Auburn 7th.
Okay.
He covers Georgia. He's got Georgia 6th. He doesn't have a ton of faith in Georgia's offense.
Well, and I think that's, the offensive line is a question, huge question. But I do think if Carson Beck was coming back, I think Georgia would be a top 3 consensus team.
That's right.
Texas A&M 5.
See, that's high for me.
It is. I like Elko. I think people are indifferent to Elko, but Marcel Reed, how good's he going to be? I don't know.
And he points that out. He says they return their entire offensive line, all 5 starters. That's a plus for anybody. Marcel Reed, talented, he calls him, and Le'Veon Moss, who was their leading rusher last year.
Yeah, Moss is really good.
Yeah. I'd have him closer to 10 than I would to 1.
Well, he's got him at 5.
Yeah.
I would too.
Texas, number 4. Florida, number 3. DJ Lagway, a lot of people love. I've not named 2 teams, Alabama and LSU. He says LSU, number 2. He says Alabama will have the best offense in the SEC this year. Again, now this is one man's preseason opinion.
Yeah, but Mike Griffiths is an Alabama hater. For him to say Alabama's number 1, I mean he's He's top 10 all-time Alabama hater, is he not?
I think Mike's a little fairer than he gets credit for. I will never forget this about Mike. After Alabama played Auburn in the Iron Bowl, where it required a heroic Bryce Young comeback to beat Auburn. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Bryce Young leads the drive, and then Alabama wins in overtime.
The only really good drive they had all night.
Yeah, it was the only drive they had all night.
We were sitting next to him in the press box.
We were sitting next to Mike in the press box, and that was not a good Auburn team. Brian Harsin-era Auburn team, not a good Auburn team. Played Alabama to the wire. Georgia looked so dominant. Mike looked at me and Dunaway, and he goes, Alabama will beat Georgia next week. And we laughed.
Oh, I said
we
Mike.
laughed. I was
Mike.
like, Mike, did you just watch this
Mike,
same game I watched?
The right side of the line's leaking, Mike.
Yeah.
What will Georgia's defensive line
you
do to the
guys-
right side of the offensive line?
You guys remember?
I do. That was when I was like, maybe I'm missing something because Lance said the same thing.
Yeah, because they were catching 6.
Yep.
I was like, they're going to win this game outright.
I remember.
And nobody gave them a chance because the offensive line
It looked awful.
had looked so bad.
Yeah.
You
The
guys
right, you couldn't block anybody on
Couldn't
the right
block
side.
anybody.
remind me in first break to tell you about a conversation I had with somebody over the weekend, Alabama related. But before I had this conversation over the last couple of weeks, I have flipped back. I think Alabama's going to win the SEC. If I could only draft 4 teams to win the national championship, I would have Alabama in my top 4 to win the national championship. I just think with DeBoer in year 2, with the way that defense played, with how dominant this offensive line can be, I mean, really, it's going to be if Ty Simpson is just not good. I think that's the only way Alabama's not good.
So let me. And that is a quick way to be not good. Is when your quarterback is not good, right?
But I think quickly you will see a true freshman if that's the case.
Yeah. And he doesn't even mention him. Here's Mike's write-up on Alabama. Just read what he says. It might seem odd to put an offense atop the league that is replacing its starting QB, but the Tide has 2 solid options. Former 5-star recruit Ty Simpson and Washington transfer Austin Mack. Again, he doesn't even mention Keelan Russell, who a lot of people think would see the field before Austin Mack even. More importantly, Alabama is expected to have the best offensive line in the league. Some say in the nation. That's my addition there. In the league, blocking for returning back Jam Miller. The Tide also features 2 of the top receivers of the SEC, and Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. And added Miami transfer Isaiah Horton. Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb returns to Kalen DeBoer's side after a season in the NFL and has plenty to work with. That is why Mike Griffith says Alabama will have the best, in his opinion, the best offense in the SEC this year.
And I think other people are going to be like, damn, like when it's 21-0 Bama in the first quarter against Florida State.
You think they are going to run Florida State out of that stadium?
Now, another problem for Alabama, potential problem, is that schedule. I mean, the schedule is really difficult.
Yeah. It's laid out nice, though. But
it is laid out nice.
Some good helmets.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think Florida State and Wisconsin's good, those are great games when you sign up for them.
By the way, I was going to let you guys know on the fly. I had a meeting with our friends at Budweiser yesterday.
Yeah.
We have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 dates in Tuscaloosa locked in.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm excited
Fantastic.
about that. Same
Yeah.
place? Or are we going to bounce it around a little bit?
I'm shooting for the same place, but they
Okay.
might want
All
to
right.
bounce it. But definitely Wisconsin, Tennessee, LSU, and Oklahoma.
All right. Fantastic. Those are fun shows.
Ironically, Alabama only has 4 good home games
I
this
know.
year.
We got them all.
It's those 4.
Hey, that's a great home schedule, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
It is. It was better last year, right?
Was
Their
it?
home schedule was better last year?
Well, you had Georgia and Auburn.
Georgia, Auburn. Didn't they have better games than that?
I don't think so. I mean, when you get 4 of that kind of quality.
Who else they have last year at home? It seemed like they had better games at home last year.
Of course, I say that, and at the same time, 3 of those 4 they could end up being unranked. I mean, Wisconsin unranked, nobody's going to be surprised.
I think they'll start unranked, right?
Tennessee unranked, nobody's going to be surprised. Oklahoma with that schedule.
The only Alabama games I went to last year were on the road. I didn't go to an Alabama home football game first time in my career, ever.
I don't think
So
I
you
would
didn't go to the Georgia game.
Um,
It was the biggest game in the country. I mean, maybe you did. I'm not judging you. I'm just
No,
asking.
you had to have
I
gone.
thought you
I
were
did.
there, but I don't know.
I don't think I went to a game last year. Is that possible?
You know, the first game I went to was Georgia, Texas in the SEC championship game.
I
That's
didn't
the
go to
only one I
that.
went to, yeah.
And we didn't travel last year, did we?
No, Alabama didn't make the playoffs or Auburn.
I think
didn't
the
make
last
playoffs.
game I went to was Rose Bowl, Saban's last game.
Wow. So
Should I
he re-
keep it like that? Keep it clean?
That's right. You retired when he retired.
Yeah, it's like somebody that, you never wash your hand if somebody shakes it. I don't think.
I went to the road games. I went to road games at Tennessee, at LSU.
Well, I tell you, if Mike Griffith is right, and Alabama has the best offense in the SEC, I think there was growing confidence in Alabama's defense at the end of the year last year. I will continue to point out, and it is fair to point out, that some of that was related to the offenses they were playing. But I think if you look past that, you saw that Alabama's offense improved game 1 to game 12 a great deal.
Yeah. But right now, a simple vote, yes or no. Or simple vote, offense or defense. It's simpler that way. Your perception on which will be the better unit in Tuscaloosa,
Defense.
offense or defense?
Defense to me.
Defense to me.
Yeah.
So does Mike Griffith,
again,
Alabama hater, have who's the best
I
defense
don't know
in
if
the
he's
SEC?
ranked, I don't know if he's ranked his defenses yet.
And I would have said that before, but again, remind me of the conversation that I had this past week in about 10 minutes and break.
Well, I got to hear this.
Yeah, I think defense can be really good.
I hate. Are we going to broadcast the commercial break conversation live?
We've done it accidentally before, haven't we?
Tyler, accidentally leave a microphone on so Lance can tell
Hey,
the
that is
audience.
the
And turn
biggest-
down those nagging commercials.
I can't tell you a worse pit in my stomach than hearing, hey, hot mic.
Yeah.
Like, what is pit and stomach moments for you guys?
Telling that story about having to win back $7,400 in a weekend.
No,
that was a pretty big
that
one.
was pit and
Just listening
stomach.
to that.
You were nauseous.
Oh my gosh, I had so much anxiety just thinking about it. Like,
Tyler,
what would
imagine
I do?
in 1992, what is $7,400 in 1992, 33 years later?
It's $1.3 million
Yep.
today.
That's exactly what it is. It's a big turnaround.
I can't tell you what the phrase is, but over the July 4th extended break, I was with some friends, and I told them that how the corporate world used to work or still does, and how we had a phrase that we would say when we would say something around the mics, and then we would tag it at the end with these two comments.
Just in case the mic was on?
Just in case the mics were on, so that HR could not fire us, because if you claim these two things at our old company,
I'm an alcoholic.
you could not be fired.
We put ourselves in two very specific categories.
You couldn't be fired
Yeah.
because people were about to get fired, and all of a sudden they claimed these two things, and so I told that story. Huge laughter.
Yeah. Did they like
were
that?
And they all work in corporate America. They're like, 100%.
Yeah.
you
So
claimed that.
we'd be sitting at a break and we'd be like, "I tell you who I don't like is that
Blah, 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 blah,
that
blah.
SOB so and so.
And I always.
Then we'd always tag that phrase just in case the mic was on.
But when they start saying things like that, and I do sometimes too, I'm not painting it's always them, but sometimes it's them saying things, and inevitably I always do this.
Yeah, like up
I would always look at that on-air light to
There you
see
go.
if it's on.
And then what would you say?
Then we would say
we had
those
a
things.
phrase.
Yeah. Just good memories.
Have you ever heard the Clay Travis story?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that was the ultimate mic was left on.
Yeah. Ironically, SEC Media Day.
Yeah,
It's
it-
next
it-
week.
it
Next week,
wasn't
Tyler.
as-
And by the way, Tyler, you'll be here with our life in your hands.
That's right.
Technically, it'll be Tim right here. I'll be
Okay.
back there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, believe it or not, 10-year anniversary of that. That was 2015.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we'll celebrate it. How about that?
That was on terrestrial radio. We made a joke about why Clay was late for his segment. And it was probably a not safe for work joke, if I had to say.
Yeah, probably
was it
not.
actually me that
I
actually?
think Lance
It was,
said it.
it was. And boy, I could have gone a lot of different directions
Yeah, I
with
mean,
it. This
it-
was like the PG-13.
It could have been much worse.
Yeah. And I think I added, well, I won't be shaking his hand.
You did say that as we're all laughing. And then as our phones are blowing up, like, why is so-and-so calling me? And Jim's like, well, so-and-so's calling me. And like, our phones are blowing
Yeah, and
up.
I've said
Why is
things.
our office manager calling us?
And break the FCC would probably be like, I don't want to hear that again. Like,
Not only are you fined,
right.
we're thinking about putting you in prison.
yeah.
All right. One more thing to get to in the opening segment after Alabama hater Mike Griffith says Alabama is the greatest offense in the Southeastern Conference this year.
Do you believe it?
That Alabama's offense be better than
The best
LSU,
offense, yes.
better than LSU,
I mean, now,
better
what-
than Texas.
Are we going on yards per game? Are we going on total yards?
I would go points per game. That's what I like.
Well,
Points
there's,
per game, I'm going to go LSU.
there's a new movie that'll be in theaters only to start with. It's called Ain't Been Nothing But a Winner.
I ain't been nothing but one. Is that really coming out?
Yeah.
It's about Bear Bryant?
We got a chance to go see it on Sunday or Monday night at SEC Media Days.
Well, I've heard nothing about that.
Invitation in your email probably from them.
Who made the movie?
Martin Scorsese.
Castile is
De Niro grabbing another paycheck.
Castile is one of the guys who is.
Is he in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
it's-
he's one of the
oh, okay.
producers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was locally done, but it has Saban in it, and it talks about how Bear Bryant and Nick Saban.
So it's a documentary.
It's a documentary. It's not a movie.
It's in theaters only. It's not a written scripted movie.
Yeah,
but
it's not Gary Busey all over again.
No, but it's in It's in theaters.
Okay.
It's a documentary in theaters July 31st.
Now, that does interest me. Yeah, if you were telling me it was a dramatic movie, I'm like,
So
probably
it's not scripted.
And you get Saban's take on Bear Bryant.
You know, and all Jonathan Allen, a bunch of players that played for Saban's behind the scenes of what worked, the players who played for Saban and others, Gene Stallings. But so how are you going to tell which is my point on this is best offense? Usually we use the scoreboard.
No, that's what I would say. Scoring offense, which I think LSU would lead Alabama, but that can be misleading too because
I go by wins.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, Gene Stallings won 13 games in 1992.
Damn good offense.
What do you think the points per? I mean, what do you think it was like 24 points per game?
I mean, 24. If Alabama scored in the 20s,
gave up 3.
If they scored in the 20s, they were
17 was always my default Gene Stallings offense score.
Yeah, get over 17, and it's like, my God, this is a blowout.
How bad they beat Vanderbilt? Probably 17-7. How bad they beat Louisiana Tech? Probably 17-6.
No, but if
how bad they beat Tulane? Probably 17-10.
I feel confident enough if Alabama points per game leads the SEC, there's no chance they can't be in the college football playoff.
100% lock if they're points per game leader in the SEC.
Tell us about Bojangles first,
Jim.
Brownie, before we do one more thing in this opening segment.
Yeah, it can be bow time for you. Everybody loves good dipping sauce, right? From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you are looking for sweet, try honey mustard. If you want to add some tang, try barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic bow sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
Hey, maybe you're going on that guy weekend, deep sea fishing, playing golf. You want to make sure you're out of the doghouse before you're ever in it. You can do it with a gift card from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Give somebody the gift of luxury from Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers right off of Highway 280. Stop into their beautiful location. Go see Stuart and the great staff. Tell them the next round sent you. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the skincare, the waxing, nail services, body treatments, massages. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Again, that's birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Did Hugh Freeze enter a GIN score yesterday?
I will check and see.
Did you?
Yeah.
My guess is
I did.
You did.
I did. I parred the last hole for an 88.
You might have helped your handicap a little bit, Jimmy.
I assume Hugh didn't play yesterday because Auburn got a recruit. Auburn 4-star linebacker Adam Bologun Ali from West Palm, Florida, picked Auburn over Missouri, Kentucky, and others.
Oh, he was like, DJ, you got this.
Yeah, so he's...
if you want to FaceTime me, just give me a little heads up.
Hey, by the way, DJ Durkin really good on the recruiting.
Oh,
trail.
he is.
Heck
yeah.
Hey, speaking of golf, though, did you see any altercations? Because I saw the report the dude was a former NHL enforcer that whipped that guy's ass. Did y'all see that?
I did not.
But I am not surprised.
No,
after watching the
he
video.
played in like 800 games.
You know, that's how we ended up. Now that you say that, in the fight we showed you on the air yesterday, now that you say that, the way he was fighting him, he grabbed the shirt and pulled him close and held him with that like they do in the hockey fights.
And that's the scary. And I try to tell my kids all the time, when you bump into somebody at a bar, try to defuse the situation because you never know what you're messing with. Now, that guy was big to begin with, but he is legitimate, was a former NHL enforcer.
It looked like it in the fight.
Well, inevitably.
A little squirt kept coming back at him, though.
Inevitably, nowadays, you're always worried about a gun. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
less so on a golf course. I don't think anybody's making full swings.
Gun,
packing heat.
knife. I mean, it can go a lot of different directions.
I mean, you put a lot of things in a bag.
Well, you can, but I mean,
you'd be surprised how many Bud Lights you can put in a golf bag.
You've learned that the easy way, haven't you?
I mean, what is the strangest thing you've seen on a golf course outside of a snake or an alligator? I've never seen a gun on a golf course.
I've heard a story about a gun on a local golf. I played behind a guy who once had a gun on him.
I'm not.
I mean, strippers are probably the craziest thing I've seen.
Yeah,
on a golf course.
I did not go to that tournament. I've heard stories.
Fight we showed you yesterday. This is not the NHL enforcer here.
No, this is the guy that's about to get enforced.
He's the one that instigated with the enforcer who throws him into the lake very kindly first. I mean,
that should be the end.
Yeah, you say, okay, that didn't hurt too bad. I'm a little stinky. Luckily, I didn't get snake bit. But when you come back, now here,
and you're right. I mean, his form. And here's the thing about those guys: the leverage they can get on skates, but the leverage on land, like you have no shot against a guy like that.
I can't believe this guy kept coming back at him.
I can't believe he did.
By the way, that's a big boy to be a hockey player.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
throws him down.
He is retired.
Yeah, he is retired.
Gain some LBs when you're playing golf as opposed to skating.
I was just talking about height. Usually those NHL guys are very short. I want to say congratulations to a friend of the show, Dan Orlovsky. You guys love it during football season when Orlovsky's on with us. They've announced it now. Dan has officially re-signed as a football analyst, one of the NFL's leading analysts, and also college football analyst Orlovsky is back with ESPN.
That's good, man. Dan, first of all, deserves every bit of that. He's as good a dude as there is. He is a hard worker, and I think the best studio analyst maybe in the game. I don't know who I would put in front of him of guys and we're biased. Dan comes on the show every week. We all love Dan, but I don't know who I trust more when he's breaking down studio stuff more than Dan.
Well, what I love is, a lot of people love to plagiarize. He is very authentic with his opinions. And so much so, and I watch a little too much of the Get Up, but people get on his ass all the time for his opinions.
They do.
And they they scoff at him, they stare at him. He doesn't care. And he is a guy that loves film and he loves the game. And, I think he's fantastic. Love when he comes on.
And so he, obviously NFL Live, Laura Rutledge and him and the other folks on that show, the ratings are through the roof on that show. The Get Up and all of those appearances. He'll continue to lead into Monday Night Football. He'll be an analyst on that and the show there, and continue to do some extensive studio work for not only the NFL but college football. So congratulations to Dan Orlovsky.
Very happy.
It was sort of in limbo there for a little bit, but Orlovsky is going to continue on ESPN for another football season coming up. All right, when we come back, we'll do our 40 and 40 team today and talk a little bit about who will not be over in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. That's coming up on the other side. Show being brought to you by our friends at A+ today. Brownie, A+ changed the way, first of all, your wife looked for someone to improve your home, but just the way your home looked.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just discussing, my wife and I yesterday, about the future of our home. Do we want to maybe look for something else, put this one on the market? Do we just want to update it and keep it forever? Well, either way, my guy Brad Bell can help you out. He's the one that redid the master bathroom. Scott's showing you some before and afters there. You can see many more at alabamabathremodels.com. When it came time to redo the bathroom, my wife was very diligent. She scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy that kept coming back and back and back from people we talked to, and I'm glad we used Brad. His crews did tremendous work. You can call him yourself and get him to come bid your job. 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758, or alabamabathremodels.com. That's alabamabathremodels.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
So Alabama, real quick, in 1992, what do you think they averaged per game? I just had to pull this.
I like Lance
wait a
straight
second,
out of
wait
the
a
chute.
second.
Get him, Lance.
Wait a second.
What?
Yes. When I'm here, I'm the first voice out of the break. It's in the contract.
Lance had it.
Wait. There's a guy that just started playing in our group, and in golf, and for 5 years since I started playing. How long was the pandemic? I started playing in the pandemic.
Okay, that was 2020.
When you get to the start of the round, Brown, to see who hits first or how you do the order of hitting. If you're playing games, you spin the tee, right?
Yep. So it's like spin the bottle, except you don't French kiss, you just tee off.
For 5 years, I'm the tee spinner. My group, they say, Dunaway, spin that tee. That's what they say.
Right.
We had a new guy that came in, started playing a few weeks ago.
And he spun the tee?
And he jumped out and spun the tee. And somebody literally told him the other day when he started to spin it, they're like, whoa. When Dunaway's here, he spins the tee.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey, in 6th grade, how excited were you when you found out Spin the Bottle was part of a party? My daughter's going into 6th grade. Let's end this conversation. Lance, how much did Alabama score in the...
Well, my first time ever was Spin the Pencil in the library, and Kelly Jo Christopher, I bumped her teeth. I didn't know how to French kiss. And I got ragged at 6th grade all day long.
That's bad. Did you ever play Spin the Bottle, Lance?
So we didn't know how to kiss.
Man, we were a little more aggressive at Homewood back in the day. We'd skip that.
7 Minutes in Heaven?
They were renting a hotel room in West Homewood.
Yeah, we were bad.
Motel 6?
Afternoon behind the mall?
We did have a ton of hotel parties. And I remember the first thing, because back...
we didn't have a wealth of hotels in Calhoun County, so that was kind of foreign to us.
Yeah. But the first thing, the smoke alarm would go... That would go down.
Yeah, you take that off and put it outside, right?
Yeah. And we'd never make it through the night. I mean, they'd always get busted.
Well, I was talking more 6th grade.
Yeah. I mean, it was still behind. We would go to like Holiday Skate Rink. We'd go to Brookwood Mall, and we'd find our way behind those places.
Oh, yeah, sure. You got a little privacy.
Yeah.
Alabama in 1992, I would say, averaged 21.5 a game.
They had the 24th best scoring offense in college football at 27.7 points per game. That was 1992. Back to the Stallings offense, what I was bringing up. But they only gave up 109 points all year.
Yeah, that I can believe.
Really good.
I mean, what was the scoring defense? Like 9 points a game? Less than? 8 points a game?
A little less than. little less than. But pull up. Are you on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Pull up that season. Now read the scores to me of the meaningful games.
Okay. Well,
meaningful.
I mean, I just think these scores are amazing. So I remember that first game because it was in the house that I was down the $7,400.
Yeah.
25-8 over Vanderbilt.
Can you watch it, Tyler?
25-8 over Vandy.
Yeah.
Okay.
17-10 over Southern Miss at home.
There's that magical 17.
Now, real quick, for the youngs out there, Southern Miss used to be a really difficult out.
That's right.
They were a difficult out in football.
Then they hit the road, and they had to, I don't know if it was Little Rock. I think it was Little Rock in 92. I don't think it was Fayetteville.
That was Fayetteville.
Oh,
okay. No, you're right. It was Little Rock. That's where Bill Clinton came.
Yep.
This is when the offense busted out 38-11 Alabama.
Yep. So throw that one out.
First shutout of the week comes. I think this game was in Birmingham, Louisiana Tech, Alabama, 13-0.
13-0, less than 17.
Was that the game? They didn't score an offensive touchdown in that game.
Yeah, it was a punt return and 2 field goals.
It was a David Palmer kick return.
It was.
And 2 field goals.
And do you guys
set up by Palmer returns?
Do you remember the highlight
Yes, I'm
of
sure.
Louisiana Tech that year?
Rattay.
No.
Tim Rattay was the one that beat Alabama.
That was a little before Rattay. This was really Rofe.
Willie Rove. Yeah, they had a good offensive lineman.
Welcome to the SEC. Next week, South Carolina comes to Tuscaloosa, 48-7 Alabama.
Okay.
I remember that.
The 2 new schools, Alabama beat their brakes off. Okay.
Yep.
Alabama's first trip to New Orleans against Tulane, 37-0.
Now,
Second
if you
shutout.
remember, they were only up like 3-0 or 6-0 at the half.
I have them 6-0 in my memory, Brown.
Yeah.
6-0 at the half, 2 field goals.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 3-0.
Good second half play.
Oh, yeah.
At Tennessee, I remember this game pretty well.
Here's a score for you, Jim. Listen.
17-10 Bama.
Yep, 17.
Magical 17.
Ole Miss comes to Tuscaloosa, 31-10 the next week.
Yep.
Then this is when Alabama starts heating up. They go to Baton Rouge, another dominant performance in Baton Rouge, 31-11.
Ah, this offense
started
rolling.
Teams had some weird scores against Alabama. You've said a bunch of 11s.
At 16th ranked Mississippi State, Alabama 30-21.
Yeah. In that game, Alabama not playing well at one point, and my buddy Glenn, photographer, set down his camera because he had money on the Tide. I'm not shooting another game, another second of this video. Local TV set down the camera, night game. I am not shooting another second of this game until they start playing better.
Wow.
And I said, did you bet on the game again, Glenn? Yeah, of course I did. And so I had to pick up the camera.
This is your channel?
Yeah, what
this is 13?
Well, yeah. What would the boss think about this?
Yeah, you missed like the biggest play in college football history.
He bailed me out more than I bailed him out. But I was like, I picked it up as Alabama, I think, blocked a punt to start getting back into the game.
I do remember they blocking a punt in that game. Yeah.
So that was 3 straight 30-plus point games. That was 5 of 6 games 30-plus. Then the offense hit a snag against Auburn on that Thanksgiving Day in the Iron Bowl in Pat Dye's last game, 17-0.
Yes, 7 of those were Antonio Langham interception returns. So the offense only scored 1 touchdown.
The next week,
that's the other thing. In all these scores, there was either a defensive score or a defensive set-up touchdown.
Yeah. Or special teams with the deuce. The next week, I think you guys were at the first SEC championship game in Birmingham, 28-21. But, I mean, that was jump-started by the Antonio Langham, right?
Well, that was the deciding play.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, 34-13 over Miami.
Yeah. Had a couple of defensive either
Scores in that
touchdowns
one.
or set them up there.
I'm surprised, though, the offense was 27.7.
That's a little better number than I remembered. I would agree.
Several of our great sponsors to tell you about here on the show today, including our friends at Breakline. Brownie, tell us about Breakline.
Yeah, BreaklineOptics.com. These beautiful sunglasses, if you're watching this on video that I've just put on, they are from BreaklineOptics.com. That's what they've got. These things are so durable. I'm going to bring a hammer. One day. I keep saying this, but I forget to do it. I'm going to bring a hammer, and I'm just going to hammer these lenses and show you how durable these things are. Molded Trivex, polarized molded Trivex lenses. You can't break them, man. These things are so durable. They're made to last. You can see more at BreaklineOptics.com. These are made for the outdoors as well. Made so that when you're in the lake water or the ocean water, the pool water, these things hold up. They're durable. They stand behind their product. If you want to see them in person, you can see them at Deep South Outfitters in Birmingham. But you can see anything online, BreaklineOptics.com. That is BreaklineOptics.com. This is a Birmingham company, but it's a national company based in Birmingham. BreaklineOptics.com. That is BreaklineOptics.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Before we get to the 40 and 40 today, UCA, Urology Centers of Alabama, guys, can literally help save your life. If you go to this website, find the details you need there at urologycentersalabama.com. They've got 16 locations in central Alabama, so one close to you. As you move from your 20s to your 30s, prostate health early detection literally saves your life, and several other things that's so important for your health and your well-being. From prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between, Urology Centers of Alabama has 35 urologists that can help you out. 205-930-0920 to schedule an appointment, or urologycentersalabama.com. And Champions Boxing bringing you the 40 and 40 today.
Hey, if you're looking for that unique workout, our friends Akash, Jake, the fine folks there, they can provide it at Champions Boxing, conveniently located right there in Pelham behind the Purple Onion off of Highway 31. It's boxing for fitness and competition. All ages starting at 9 years old. 8 USA boxing certified coaches, not only in boxing, but strength and condition. Anyone looking for a workout different from just throwing up a barbell, come check them out. Any former athletes looking to try another sport to compete in after high school and college, this could be perfect. Official sports boxing coordinator for the 2025 World Police and Fire Games. You see right there on your screen, held in Birmingham this July. For more information, Instagram, go to @ChampionsBoxingAL. On Facebook, @ChampionsBoxingAL as well.
All right, 40 and 40, one team every show all the way up to SEC Media Days, which is next week, which means we're into the top 5. Today at number 3, voted on by you guys, that orange paw of Dabo Swinnney and the Clemson Tigers coming in at number 3. Yesterday, Penn State had 5 first-place votes. Clemson only has 4. That's Tommy Broadhead, Morgan Crabtree, our friend Morgan from up in Kentucky, John Gibson, and Ashley Ryan all rolling in with Clemson winning the national championship. I will tell you, a lot of you voters had Clemson losing the national championship game, including on our show, Lance Taylor and Scott Forrester, each having them at number 2. Taylor Korn had them at 3. I had them at 4. Brownie, the least believing in Clemson, had them at number 5. The lowest anybody had them was Aaron at number 9 in our rankings. Everybody had Clemson to win the ACC. Everybody had Clemson in the college football playoffs.
By far the easiest Power 4 league to pick a champion would be Clemson, coming off a lot of momentum from last year. And they got 2 things that were in the formula for Dabo Swinnney winning his 2 national championships. Elite quarterback play, you got it from Cade Klubnik last year, and a dominant defensive line. You've got that coming back this year. This schedule is challenging just based on the bookends of the SEC. You kick it off at home against LSU. You close in Bryce Williams against South Carolina. In between, tricky game at Georgia Tech, and you got to go to Louisville.
Yeah,
so to me, and there's a couple of home games in there with SMU and Duke and even Syracuse, but there are some tricky games here.
I was going to ask you to give me the trip-up point. Let's take LSU and South Carolina. Those aren't trip-ups. Those are really difficult games. I get the feeling you would say at Louisville is the one you would circle. That is a Friday night game on the road on ESPN.
It screams Clemson will be a 6.5, 7-point favorite.
Yep. Random Friday night, everybody watching, pulling for the upset.
But, even Clemson, I think with this schedule, I think 10-2 still gets them in. Like, I don't see a path for Clemson to not get to a college football playoff.
I think 10-2 is probably an ACC champion, so they're definitely in at that point.
So my question to you guys today is, who is the most disrespected, great, some will call good, I guess, if you're disrespected, great college football coach ever? And does Dabo Swinnney get into that conversation? Because I don't feel like he gets the respect that his record indicates it should be. His success on the field should put Dabo Swinnney in rare air of college football coaches, and he doesn't get that same respect, I think, for what he's done winning games.
I'll give you one, and I'll tell you why. It's Barry Switzer. I would put Dabo Swinnney and Barry Switzer in the same category.
You don't think Barry Switzer gets...
I don't think he gets the guy won 3 national championships at Oklahoma. And how often do you mention him in the same breath as guys that won those types of national championships? And I think part of it is because he went to Dallas. He followed Jimmy Johnson. Dallas was the best franchise in the NFL. And though he won a Super Bowl, it fell off very quickly, and a lot of fingers pointed at Barry Switzer from that locker room.
But it has nothing to do with the way I remember him at Oklahoma, though.
I think it affects the way some people do.
Yeah,
not you.
I think Dabo in the present moment won't get as much respect as he will one day. Like, the only guy that I can kind of think of, and this might be a bad example, and it might be a little skewed because we're in Birmingham and we remember all of the exterior stuff, is Phil Fulmer at Tennessee. Now, he only won 1 championship, but, there was a decade where he had the highest active winning percentage in all of football. And I never thought Phil Fulmer got the credit he really deserved. But again, he's only got one championship.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, Gene Stallings gets lost in between two giants, Bear Bryant, and I mean, he won a lot of football games in a short period of time.
I do think Dabo will get a lot of respect once he's gone.
Let me
not dead, but
not dead, but retired.
Yeah. But probably both.
I was going to try to find the coaches that have won 2, and you tell me the ones you put.
I mean, but
Dabo in front of
Dabo. I mean, winning that second one puts you in some rare air. The third one is when you really jump into the best of all time.
Yeah, I will say this: I think there's coaches that haven't won a national championship that get more respect than Dabo.
Yeah.
I think Chip Kelly probably got more respect. I think Chris Peterson got more respect.
Like Ryan Day wins a lot of football games. Ryan Day's a good football coach.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he doesn't get any respect, and he's got his national championship now.
I mean, he's just in a weird group. There's not a lot of guys that only won 2.
Yeah,
most guys. Bob Devaney in Nebraska won 2.
Yeah,
you put Dabo in front. I don't remember Bob Devaney.
I don't either, but Devaney's known as one of the great ones.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Stoops only won the 1.
Yeah,
and I think most people would put Bob Stoops in front of Dabo.
Yeah,
don't you think?
Probably. Yeah.
Larry Coker.
Well, he only won the 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Butch Davis didn't win any, and he at one point was a well-respected coach.
No. I mean,
Spurrier only won the 1, and he would definitely be in front of Dabo, right?
Yes.
Yep. Most people.
Yeah.
Stallings won 1. And
he would not be in front of Dabo.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Now, here's another guy that won 2, Darrell Royal.
Yep.
Do you put Dabo in front of Darrell Royal?
No, they put his name on the stadium.
Dabo's name will be on that stadium.
Oh, it'll be on something there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just he's in pretty rare air when you try to find guys that have, the guys that have won more than 2, obviously. I know we're probably going to rank in front of him, but I mean, he doesn't feel like he belongs with some of those legendary names like I've just reeled off, but I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what your argument against it would be.
How many teams currently have their greatest coach in their program history?
Yeah, you ask this question a lot when we talk about certain programs, and does Danny Ford get more respect than Dabo does at Clemson? Not anymore.
I would hope not.
I don't think so.
I think maybe he did for years.
But I mean,
I'll give you that John McCain.
Clemson's got their guy right now.
They
right?
do.
Yeah.
That's why I went Danny Ford on your question there, because he won 1 in '83 and.
I mean, Georgia's got their guy.
Kirby Smart's won 2, by the way. You'd put Kirby in front of Dabo Swinnney.
Yeah,
Kirby gets a lot more respect than Dabo.
He does. He does.
I don't. I mean, do you stop there? I mean, you could say, maybe Kirk Cignetti's the best they've ever.
Yeah, but
maybe Kenny Dillingham. I'm just talking about guys that have been there for a while where you really feel good about saying that's the best coach they've ever had. Matt Campbell at Iowa State. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd go Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
At Iowa State.
But,
no, I mean, you're probably at the end of the list.
Yeah.
With Kirby and Dabo Swinnney and Matt Campbell, that might be it. I can't immediately think of anybody I would stand on the table here for and say that's the best coach.
I mean, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oregon, Texas, Penn State.
None of those.
Yeah, none of those.
Yeah. Dabo Swinnney, Clemson coming in, and a lot of you said 4 of you have them winning it. A lot of you have them losing in the national championship game. Give me cut 2, Tyler. Here's Cade Klubnik, the quarterback back. Listen to Cade, and then you guys tell me why have we changed the opinion on Cade Klubnik and this Clemson offense. Here is Cade Klubnik on what the expectations are this year for the Clemson football team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously hate to lose. We had a goal last year, and that was to, keep playing as long as we could and to finish with a win. But we learned a lot from it. I think that going out with the game that we had, we showed that, we can really play with them, and we play with really anybody, and I think that we all believe that. And I think it just kind of drove a lot of momentum in the way we finished the game too, and but just drove a lot of momentum to the offseason. And but yeah, I think that kind of what you said is, we got a taste of it, but it's definitely we got a taste of it, but we want some more.
Is he spending NIL on his on signage?
You're
sponsoring the Clemson board back there?
Stuff behind him?
Yeah.
That is interesting. I hadn't noticed that. That's actually on the board.
I would assume they do that for all players, I guess.
Yeah.
Remember, their practice jerseys had their social media.
Oh, okay. So they're doing that. So. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson at Clemson. How do you rank those two?
Oh, Deshaun better than
Deshaun
Trevor.
1, Trevor 2. Do you do the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, Klubnik does get into the conversation.
But how close is he is what I was going to ask. I mean, is it a...
There was a guy before Deshaun, that
Taj Boyd? You'd go Taj Boyd in front of
Cade Klubnik? I would right now, yeah.
Would you go Taj Boyd?
Yeah. I mean, Klubnik was a disaster until about midway last year.
Klubnik was really good last year.
This is a guy that people think could win the Heisman.
Yeah. And
but I mean, okay, but if he has the year people think he have, you would put him a little closer to Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's always going to be third, though. You don't think he can surpass Trevor Lawrence?
If they were to win a national championship, he wins a Heisman, then I think he can pass.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Klubnik does, but there were a lot of times you pointed to Klubnik and some of the play calling, I guess, and is it Garrett Riley that's still there?
Yeah.
Is the offensive coordinator. That wasn't working for a long time. Then all of a sudden it did work at the end of last year. I mean, that Clemson team, they had to win. They were lucky to be in the ACC championship game, had to win the ACC championship game to get into the playoffs. And then they got in the playoffs and had a good showing. They want more out of it, but they needed a misstep from Miami, or last year's season is a disaster.
Not just a misstep from Miami, a game that gets forgotten. He bailed them out against Pitt. They were dead, buried, and gone against Pitt, and Cade Klubnik bailed them out on the final drive.
He was great in that game.
And on the final drive, Lance had that long run for the touchdown. If they lose that game, that Miami-Syracuse outcome doesn't even matter. You got SMU Miami playing for the conference championship.
Yeah, we'll see what the ACC looks like this year. That's our 40 and 40 team, brought to you by our friends at Champions Today. Before we do our viewing menu, in fact, we're too late into the hour. We'll do our viewing menu in the next half hour. The show today being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them, our friends at Twin Peaks. Tell us about Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, great place to go for happy hour. Those 29-degree beers. If you're looking for a place to watch Major League Baseball, they've got the extra innings package. You can sit back after work, relax. Great happy hour at Twin Peaks. Of course, Twin Peak girls running around everywhere. Had lunch in there just last week. Stop in. I had that really, really good chicken quesadilla, but they've got big, bold burgers, scenic views from every single seat with, again, the 29-degree beer. Head into one of those great locations for lunch, dinner, Major League Baseball. It is Twin Peaks.
And our friends at New Life Art, Daniel A. Moore with the great paintings over the years. You can go check him out, danielmooreart.com. danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR. The great works, including the goal line stand back in the day between Penn State and Alabama. There's a little Clemson down in the lower left of Kenyon Drake's Dive in the Desert. Great moments to add to your sports room or maybe your office. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. Back with hour number 2 after this.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Boy, technology in sports is crazy. I'm watching a little bit of Wimbledon on our screen here, TV3, and Shelton from the U.S. just hit a serve at 147 miles per hour. That's absolutely crazy. Show today continues on, show number 988 as we roll on today. And we are 45 days away from the start of the college football season. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's our buddy Greg from Pell City. And again, Greg appreciates all you guys reaching out, kind words and prayers over the weekend. Their family hit with a loss of life. One of the daughters there lost a child, and your thoughts and prayers meant a lot to Greg's family. Again, he wants you to reach out if you've reached out for a roof inspection over the last 3, 4, 5 days. He'd like you to do it again just so you're not lost. He probably already has you on record, but he wants to make sure nobody slipped through the cracks there of all the well wishes and prayers going to his family. Get the details about a A+ rated service at Storm Restoration Roofing by calling Greg up, 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or Greg from Pell City there on Facebook. Andrea and his wife run the company. Jessica and some of the sons there work on the crews and in the office. It's a true family business there, and they've been locally owned for over 20 years. Full roof inspections, full roof replacement, all right there, and it all starts with a free evaluation, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City there on Facebook. Joel Klatt, friend of the show, has 10 teams that he thinks are in the running to make their first ever college football playoff appearance. And I want to show you the list. He ranks them in order. I believe he ranks them in order.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and this list is interesting. We've done this on our own, and the number one team on the list is everyone's number one team when you look at schedules, because they have a manageable schedule with a lot of returning folks. Joe Klatt goes with Illinois as the most likely team to make their first ever college football playoff appearance. We can talk about Illinois again in a second, but on that list, 3 brands pop out to me that we've gone since 2014, and we've never had Miami, we've never had USC, and we've never had Florida. in a college football playoff, and we've been doing it since 2014.
It's funny you don't consider Nebraska a brand
Well,
anymore.
I was going to say I wouldn't consider Miami. I mean, USC and Florida.
That's how far those have fallen.
I mean, that is a complete joke for both of those programs.
Yep. I mean, this has been a long time we've had a college football playoff.
And, I mean, how much longer can you go being part of those programs and not get to a 12-team playoff? I mean, it was one thing, when you were talking about a 4-team playoff.
We'll be 16 next year. And so it's you got to get those brands there. But Illinois, for those that are listening to us on the audio platforms, we love you guys as well. Illinois is 1 on Klatt's list, most likely to make their first ever college football playoff appearance. Ole Miss 2, South Carolina 3, Miami, Iowa, Missouri, USC, and a lot of teams there ahead of USC, Kansas State, Florida, and Nebraska in that order from Joel Klatt there at Fox Sports.
Man, you think about what it would do for those head coaches. Like Brett Bielema, I mean, you forget his Arkansas tenure, right? If he gets to a college football playoff at Illinois with what he did at Wisconsin,
yes,
with those Rose Bowls,
yes,
Lane Kiffin, Shane Beamer. If Shane Beamer was to get South Carolina to a college football playoff,
we'd consider it one of the great coaching jobs of all time.
I mean, it would be considered it is those 11-win seasons. Spurrier played for an SEC championship, but that would be the greatest season in South Carolina history.
There's zero doubt about it. I know a ardent South Carolina fan. It's my pastor, George Wright. Yeah, I went to South Carolina, huge fan. He would tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt. I've talked to him about South Carolina football and how horrible it was. He told me a story, Dunaway. You'll love this, being a college football fan. When he was in school there, I think he told me they lost their first 21 games in his time there. This is Lou Holtz era. And he said, he told me who it was. I think it was Furman they beat, and they tore down the goalpost.
Yeah.
He was like, that's how sad it was.
Wow.
We've not seen him win it forever, but that highlights how bad South Carolina historically has been.
I would be more impressed by the coaching job done if Beamer got this South Carolina team to the playoffs more than the job that Cignetti did at Indiana last year.
I would agree with you.
Because of the schedules.
I would agree with you, because of the conference and the schedules.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference would be South Carolina's had semblances of good seasons, and it was year 3 for Beamer. I mean, year 1 for Cignetti to come into Indiana.
No, it's crazy, but I'm kind of with Jim. I mean, both of them have historically just been awful programs.
But who did Indiana beat last year?
Their best win was Michigan.
Yeah.
And that was
they still won 11 games.
They did.
Yeah, but who did they beat? South Carolina, in order to get there, will have to beat some monsters.
Yeah.
Some monsters to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, they could go 9-3 with their schedule and get in.
You say that, but again, last year, 9-3 Alabama was left out.
Yeah, but even if you go 9-3, let's just take the obvious losses at LSU, Alabama, and Clemson. So that means you've got to go to Missouri and win. You got to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You got to go to Ole Miss. You got to go to A&M.
Yeah. Alabama beat Georgia last year.
Yeah, I don't know, Lance.
Get in at 9-3.
I don't know if I can get behind you on this one, just because
Alabama beat Georgia, LSU on the road last year.
There is a chance Oklahoma finishes unranked and Texas A&M finishes unranked. It'd be tough for Ole Miss to finish unranked, but there's a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have one ranked win.
Yeah, we're not to the point yet where I say 9-3 gets you in.
I think a 9-3 team will get in this year, but the scenario I laid out, probably not.
No, you would be better off if you're South Carolina winning one of the games you gave them a loss in and dropping one at Missouri or something like that.
But like if Florida goes 9-3, I don't care where the 3 losses are, they're getting in.
It'd be hard to keep them out at 9-3.
They're getting in at 9-3.
Yeah, so that's the list from Joel Klatt. And we've done it ourselves over the summer. We may do it again before we get there. It's always an interesting list there.
It feels like Illinois is everybody's Indiana.
It's okay. Some people throw the S on it.
I try not to do it. It feels like Illinois is everyone's Indiana this year.
And you can't, in the Indianas and the Arizona States, you don't see them coming.
You don't. But it feels like everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Illinois. You see that coming. Nobody saw Arizona State and Indiana coming.
Yeah. We've got some quarterbacks that are in new places, and I want to do this or that here in college football. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairings on who we think's. Now, this isn't who's going to have the better year at quarterback, but as a quarterback, your job is to win game. I'm going to ask you who wins the games, and of this and that. These are 10 quarterbacks at 10 new locations. Right after we hear from a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, our buddy Dr. B, has got LT's hair primed and ready for SEC Media's Day. and Brown's is still a work in progress.
It is. Getting it cut today, though. I still have to get it cut, Jim.
Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. Again, when we started to thin out, we asked around. Everybody said Dr. B is the direction you need to go. Since that moment, it's been 3.5 years now. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Just doing that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. T3hair.net for more information. T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable. Takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. You pick and choose which agents you want, men and women. Ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and that great staff. Find out what will work. 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. It all starts by clicking on one click to this website, aplanforme.com. aplanforme.com. Leslie and her board-certified team will help you jumpstart your weight loss right now so you're looking good by the time we get to the new year of 2026. Helps you with cholesterol numbers and a lot of things. They got a board-certified team there to help you. Injection therapy, meal replacements. I use these protein bars to keep me from snacking between breakfast and lunch and dinner. In fact, I use the protein bar for breakfast every day here on the show. You can jump on at planforme.com. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation is free. Planforme.com. It's a Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Give me cut number 1 because this will get us into the conversation. This is Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, at his media days yesterday. And I've got a Big 12 school that will jump us into the this or that. And Brett Yormark preaches what I think a lot of people believe. It doesn't mean you're great at the top. It means you're pretty good in the middle and the bottom. Here's Yormark yesterday at his media days.
I believe we will be the deepest football conference in America. No league offers the competitive balance that we do. Last season, the Big 12 led the nation in fourth quarter lead changes and go-ahead scores in the final minute of conference games. And this year, our star power, especially at quarterback, will be on full display. The Big 12 returns 9 starting quarterbacks who threw for over 2,400 yards last season. The rest of the Power 4 combined, just 11. We also boast one of the nation's top coaching lineups, from Hall of Famers to rising stars. I fully expect the Big 12 to earn multiple college football playoff bids this year, and to show once again that we can compete with anyone.
Yeah, the Hall of Famers, Rich Rodriguez.
Terrible acoustics. Work on the acoustics, Big 12. Don't have a cheat sheet. You're not eulogizing somebody. I mean, be able to come out and talk about your conference.
Now, in fairness, I believe we use very presidential-like a teleprompter for Greg Sankey, don't we? Do we have a teleprompter for him?
I don't know. I mean, those things aren't cheap.
I would just think that would be easy to go out and talk about your conference.
Well, hey, Greg has sheets in front of him as he does his
podium, though.
as he does his statement there. So
this guy just chose not to go podium. I mean,
do you care that there's 9 quarterbacks returning that threw for over 2,400 yards?
No, I think he overplayed the star power.
And your fourth quarter comebacks were against your own team.
Well, that's the thing. I think he's conflating depth for unpredictability. So there's a difference in a deep league and an unpredictable league. I agree with him 100% if he says the Big 12
is the most exciting
the most exciting unpredictable league in America, top to bottom. I would say I think you might be right about that. But if you say deepest, now you're saying we think we can stack. How many are in the Big 12 now?
16.
We can stack our 16 versus the Big 10's best 16 and the SEC's entire 16.
Maybe 18.
Or however many
I got 16. 16.
Whatever 16. It is.
16 is my answer. I'm
we
locking
can
it
go
in.
team for team with the Big 12 and the SEC. I do not think you can make that argument.
You cannot.
And now, unpredictability, yeah, you can. Like, it's going to be more unpredictable than the SEC and the Big 10 and definitely the ACC.
So I don't think they can get 2 teams in.
I thought yesterday you thought they could get 2 in.
Every other year.
Yeah, every other year. And the ACC is the other year.
I'm just saying, again, back to the 5-11, I'm surprised they passed on that, and he's very confident based on the soundbite we just heard that they're going to get 2 in this year. But You talked about 9 and 3s aren't going to get in. I just think they cannibalize each other. I mean, does the 2-loss Big 12 get in?
Yeah, the automatic is the only one that gets in.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think the automatic, the team that wins it is going to be a 2-loss, 3-loss team, and everyone else is going to have 3 losses or more because they are a deep league.
Well, you're not going to keep the team that loses the Big 12 championship game. The lasting impression is going to be they just lost. You're not going to put in a team over them that didn't play in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a difficult argument for them to get 2 in.
100%. ACC did it last year when SMU lost. SMU had a lot more wins than maybe the Big 12. We'll see how it plays out. But this or that, you pick one of these new quarterbacks in a new place or the other one, and Connor Wegman is the guy I'll start with. He's in a new place. Anybody knows where he's going to be the starting quarterback this year?
The former Texas A&M quarterback Connor Wegman, Jim, will be the starting quarterback at...
I think he's at Houston, right?
He is at Houston.
Wow, very good.
Which is why I played the Big 12 depth thing.
I was not going to say Houston.
Connor Wegman starting at Houston versus Chandler Morris starting at...
Chandler Morris is starting at...
Chandler Morris
not a Big 12 school.
Not a Big 12 school?
No.
I saw Chandler Morris's name the other day. Where did I see him starting, though? Help me out.
They're like Auburn and Alabama. Their mascot's one thing, but their battle cries are different. It's the Wahoos.
Oh, he's at Virginia.
He's at Virginia.
Yeah.
So more wins this year. Connor Wegman, Houston. Chandler Morris, Virginia. You know what the Big 12 is like. Here's the Virginia schedule to help you out along the way in the ACC. The Cavaliers, not challenged a lot
but
out of conference, but Coastal Carolina is a good game. At NC State, William and Mary, Stanford, Florida State, Louisville, Washington State, UNC, Cal, Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech. More wins, Wegman or
I'll go
Morris?
Wegman. I think they're kind of comparable quarterbacks, but I just think based on schedule, I think Houston can win 7 games this year.
Willie Fritz, I have more faith in
than Tony Elliott.
Yeah.
So I'll go head coach there.
Houston's my pick as well. So this is how this works. This or that.
That was a tough start, though.
Malik Murphy, starting quarterback at Oregon State versus Darian Mensah, starting quarterback at Duke.
I'll take Duke.
Yeah, Duke. Duke's going to be good again this year. 9 wins last year.
Okay, well, you know what Duke's schedule looks like.
Hey, simulation, too. 5 national championships.
That's right. Duke's loaded.
Here's what Oregon State's schedule looks like, though. I mean, it's a different kind of schedule. California, Fresno State, Texas Tech, Oregon, Houston, Appalachian State, Lafayette, Wake Forest, Washington State, Sam Houston, Tulsa, and Washington State again.
Yeah, the home and home in Washington State because they don't have conference.
I know scheduling is always a pain in the ass, but you got to feel sorry for Oregon State and Washington State. What they've got to do.
Some of the games they used to get USC coming to their
scrambling.
Yeah.
So you still think that Duke wins more than
yes?
That is a bad schedule, though, Lance.
Casual, Fresno, Cal, Fresno State, Appalachian State, Lafayette, 4, 5.
Yeah, they're going to start 2 and 2,
7.
They're going to start 2 and 2.
I got them 7 wins.
Who do you have their losses to? At Texas Tech, at Oregon, and one of the Washington State games?
One of the Washington State games, Oregon, Texas Tech, and then they'll drop another one somewhere else.
Yeah. 7 and 5. I think Duke's better than 7 and 5, so I'll go Duke.
Duke's going to be favored in at least 8 games. I'm telling you, they're going to beat Illinois in week 2.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Wait a minute. You got that's in Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that a couple of times this
Yeah,
summer.
but that's going to upend the old Illinois as this year's Indiana.
I mean, Illinois is going to be a 3-point favorite.
Then could Duke be this year's Indiana?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, how are they going to get to the playoffs without winning the ACC?
So
Indiana didn't win the Big Ten, but I get your point. Yeah.
Unwinnable games for Duke this year only look like at Clemson. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you tell me another game where you're like, they can't win that game.
Just for historical references, last year, about on this day when I did the EA Sports simulation of who won the national championship, I remember saying, I don't like the game because the first dynasty I played out, Indiana made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Did you really say that?
I do think I remember that. Like, how did Indiana?
It's a joke when Indiana's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they ended up making the playoffs.
I'm telling these robots, man.
Yep.
AI.
Miller Moss, new quarterback at Louisville, versus John Mateer, new quarterback at Oklahoma. I know who you think the better quarterback
yes.
is.
Yeah,
Who's
Louisville
got
wins
more
games.
wins?
Yeah, I think Louisville's going to have more wins.
Brutal Oklahoma schedule.
Yeah,
Here's the Louisville schedule.
You put Mateer at Louisville, they could win the ACC.
Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, Bowling Green, Pitt, Virginia, Miami, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson, SMU, Kentucky. For Louisville.
I mean, there's obviously some losable games, but
yeah. But Oklahoma, another team. If they go 9-3, I don't care where the 3 losses are, they're in.
Yeah.
And Venables is probably your coach of the year.
That is a bit of a difficult, Clemson and SMU in back-to-back weeks. They host Clemson. That's a game we talked about earlier, a Friday night game that Lance circled as maybe an upset for Clemson. But then either way, you have to turn around and go play SMU on the road. If you beat Clemson, that's a tough come-down. If you lose to Clemson, that's a tough to follow up with SMU. They're just a better program than Kentucky right now.
They're dogs in 3 games for sure.
Yeah. And I can't believe Kentucky has let Louisville pass them, but they're a better program.
But you guys have seen this Oklahoma schedule, right?
I have, yes, Lance. It is brutal.
Yeah.
That's why I paired those two together. I'm trying to get the likes here. Jackson Arnold, Auburn don't answer too quickly. Nico Amalieva, UCLA. More wins this year. Jackson Arnold, Auburn. Nico at UCLA.
Let me look at the UCLA
Here's
schedule.
the UCLA
Okay, you got
schedule. Pretend we planned this out here for us.
Okay, you and Scotty.
UCLA, they start things off with Utah, and then they go UNLV, New Mexico, Northwestern, Penn State, Michigan State, Maryland, Indiana, Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, USC.
At first glance, I counted 5 losses, Lance.
Yeah, well, I think they're a 4-win team.
Yeah, I mean, I counted 5 immediately.
4 wins. 4 wins.
4 wins for UCLA. So you obviously think Arnold.
Yeah, I'll
wins
go
that one
Auburn in
easily.
front of that one.
And then the last one, the toughest one, saved it for last. Toughest one, I think, for LT. Carson Beck, Miami versus Fernando Mendoza at Indiana. More wins. To help you, I forget which schedule I gave you to pop up here. It was Miami.
Canes. I mean, that first one.
Yeah.
They've got the advantage there, quarterback-wise, though, in the first one.
Notre Dame, Bethune-Cookman, South Florida, Florida State, Louisville, Stanford, SMU, Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt.
Where's that Louisville game? Is that on the road?
No,
it's at home.
Home game.
I think is close. I've got Indiana at 9-3.
Did I give you Indiana too? Yeah, I did. Yeah, give me that Indiana.
I think Indiana's 9-3. I think Miami's 9-3.
Yeah,
that's kind of a fun Miami schedule, though.
Oh, it is.
Some good
helmet games.
Yeah, that Notre Dame game will be fun. The Florida game will be fun. I don't know about Florida State. I think that Louisville game's an interesting game for them. They play SMU. I think Syracuse has improved.
Yeah,
that's a fun schedule.
Indiana has one of the more difficult 3-game stretches in college football this year.
Of course, just went side
we got
by
side by side, like we're NBC News.
But start with the September 20th game against Illinois.
Right.
Then you've got to go to Iowa, who's going to be much improved, and then you got to go to Oregon. Those are 3 really difficult games. I'm giving them a 1-2 in that stretch. Losing to Penn State, I think they're 9-3.
Not that it matters because it's 2 high school stadiums, but the Illinois game that's a home game for them, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And then in your mind, Lance, Illinois is coming off a loss at Duke a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, and Illinois probably loses this game at Indiana.
Okay, well then that's dagger in the heart right there, buddy. Yeah. We don't even get out of September.
Yeah, I think their road games at Iowa, at Oregon, and at Penn State are their losses.
Yeah, I'll take Miami and Carson Beck with more wins than Indiana in that one. A little this or that for you there. When it comes to college football, again, we're in Atlanta next week for SEC Media Days. And we finish our 40 and 40 countdown tomorrow and on Friday. Show today being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our fine friends at Odie's, where tonight a little trivia action will take place.
Yeah, Odie's Team Trivia every single Wednesday night. We're doing it at the original location in Crestline. Come join us. Get there a little early. Enjoy the incredible food from Rodney Davis, the award-winning wings, great burgers, fantastic sandwiches, including the Diablo sandwich, ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, the Odie's famous cup cocktails, and the styrofoam cups. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff. But remember, 2 locations, Edgewood, tonight, Crestline for Odie's Team Trivia.
Right. And, of course, our friends at Bojangles, they bring you our tender moment of the day. Brownie, tell us about Bojangles.
Yeah, Bojangles they've got all the dipping sauces you would want. Nothing goes better with a great dipping sauce than one of those great tenders, the hand-breaded tenders at Bojangles. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want to add some tang, try barbecue. You want to get some heat, maybe that creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. Smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. Head to Bojangles. Order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
Our tender moment of the day is with our friends at Night Edie. They are going to do it again. We were part of the first basketball game in years to be played at Boutwell Auditorium, a historic site here in Birmingham. It was such a success with Alabama and Wake Forest last year that they're going to do 3 exhibition games this year. Our friends at Night Edie, they're going to roll out Alabama A&M and Samford on Monday, October the 13th. Then Auburn and Oklahoma State will play an exhibition game on Wednesday, October 15th. And then Alabama's back. Alabama and Florida State on Thursday, August the 16th. It's all Ballin' in Boutwell, ballinandboutwell.com for tickets. Small venue, but you can be part of Ballin' in Boutwell there. That venue, fun to watch a basketball game in. It was almost, to me, it wasn't quite like Hoosiers, but it was a
cool atmosphere.
It felt like it was a vintage throwback type game.
Yeah. It's as soon as I said Saban's last game was the last game I went to.
That's right. You were at this.
I was in Neyland last year for Tennessee, Alabama, so I missed this. Now, the pictures looked incredible. I've got great Boutwell memories from concerts back in the day, back in the 80s.
It was a fun atmosphere. I mean, it was well, the one reason it was a fun atmosphere was people had not seen that Alabama roster yet. And people thought Wake was going to be better than Wake ended up being. And that night you felt like, dang, this Alabama team can be really, really
But it couldn't get any more intimate, right? I mean, it was so tight.
Yeah.
And the Auburn tickets will go fast because there's just so many Auburn fans in Birmingham that don't get to drive down to Auburn to see the team, and it'll be a whole new roster for Auburn. I mean, there's 5 Letterman back for Alabama, a lot more known, but the Alabama tickets should go fast as well. But the Auburn, if you don't go there now, right now, you may not get Auburn tickets.
I mean, I think
they
it's
may
only
be out right now.
3,500 seats. Yeah. So, I mean, they're both going to sell out, obviously. It is fun atmosphere. If you can get down there, you're right. Like Lance said, you're right. There's not a bad seat. You're right on top of the action, no matter where you were sitting.
Ballin' in Boutwell there. That's our tender moment. That gets us to our viewing menu, brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. Got the procedure done in 2003, over 2 decades ago. Still 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
We got a season premiere tonight for the longest running sitcom in history. Do you guys know what it is?
It is The Simpsons.
Sitcom Simpsons. Nope, it's South Park.
Nope.
I guess
live action, not animated.
Live action, those would be animated comedies.
Situation comedy.
Okay, hold on.
Longest running sitcom in history would be
the Saturday Night Live wouldn't fall for that.
Nope. Longest running sitcom. You would think we would know this.
This is entering its 17th season. It is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, would not have guessed that one.
I can't believe they're still doing that.
I just don't understand the comedy in it, but I've tried to watch it.
I enjoyed it early on. I'll say that.
It's just a bunch of annoying characters.
I really like it. It reminds me a lot of Seinfeld, but if Jerry's apartment had like a gas leak.
Okay. All right, there you go.
It is just Seinfeld, but all of the extremes and everyone's personality taken to the furthest point.
When they first started, we had, this is before we were doing the show, I had the blonde-haired chick on. I forgot what her name is.
Caitlin Olsen.
Yep.
Plays D.
That shows you how long that show's been on. It was before we were together. Yeah.
I enjoyed The League, which was about fantasy football, sort of the same genre and feel in the same time. But I thought they were not even doing that show anymore. I don't watch it when it runs live, but I'd gone back and streamed Abbott Elementary, and there's an episode where they have to do community service, and the inside, what's it called again? The show?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
The Always Sunny
crew.
So
it was a crossover?
Yep.
Came and did an episode of Abbott Elementary.
That's old school.
Yeah, it is. And that's 2 different networks, right? Because that's
FX.
ABC and FX.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
FX does Always Sunny. But you'll be able to watch that on FX or Hulu tonight. We've also got another Netflix documentary, part of the Trainwreck series, The Real Project X. In 2012, a teenage girl in the small Dutch town of Haren creates a Facebook event for her 16th birthday party. but mistakenly makes it public
I remember
instead
this.
of private.
Yeah, I remember this.
Tens of thousands of people end up making this event go viral and showing up to the party, and it was all inspired by the movie Project X, and the police didn't take any precautions or warnings or anything like that, and so you ended up with a full-blown riot.
Yeah, I will definitely watch this.
Yeah, that was a trash story. I remember that was my introduction to the story. Was you did it in trash, and we kind of followed the follow-ups and all that. It was wild.
I was telling Tyler, I watched a movie last night. I asked my robot. I was like, I need international organized crime off the radar. So it was called The Gangster, the Cop, and the Devil. And it was a Korean subtitled movie. You think I'm the only person that watched that last night?
Probably so. I'm going to take the cop, the gangster, and the devil in that order.
I don't think the computer's on your side anymore.
That was a good movie.
As worried as you are about AI, you sure invite it into your house a lot.
A lot of you are helping me
There
out.
it is, look.
On
Oh, that's the movie?
Yeah, and I read that Stallone has bought the U.S. rights to it.
Oh, interesting. I bet he's the gangster.
It's based on a true story.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really fascinating. So that dude right there is the gangster, and so
the
there's
one with the shiny suit on, the sunglasses, the big ring, and the
pinstripes.
Those are his
holding a
henchmen.
phone.
But so there's a serial killer in Korea, again, based on a true story, where he would run up and hit people behind, like in desolated areas. And when they get out of the car, he would attack them and kill them with a knife. And so he attacks this gangster. Gangster survives. His guys, cops, they get together to go after him. It's worth the watch.
Yeah. By the way, that movie that I teased in the first hour, Nothing But a Winner, a lot of people in it, and I was going to go back and tell you who was part of it.
People say Marlon Humphrey put it together.
I know Bobby's in it.
Yeah.
Marlon Humphrey's part of it. The Castile's part of it.
I saw that Jalen Hurts appears in it. Clinton Dix. Ozzie Newsome was listed as part of it as well.
Yeah.
Gene Stallings. I don't know how much of it is old footage, how much is new footage. But
Saban, Stallings, Hurts, Devontae Smith, C.J. Mosley, Jonathan Allen, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy, Sylvester Croom, Kelvin Croom, Ozzie Newsome, Wilbur Jackson, Jeremiah Castile, Antonio Langham, Bobby Humphrey,
That's
and
a dang
more.
Hall of Fame Alabama football players right there.
Yeah. I thought I had a list of who was the producers. Hits the theaters July 31st, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark theaters nationwide.
Yep.
For that.
And finally, on today's viewing menu, you can watch this on Max or tonight at 7 p.m. on TNT. It is Superman, the movie from 1978.
Wow.
I went back and watched it last week in my preparation for the new movie. I've been going through all of them. And
is that the best, 78?
It holds up surprisingly well.
I liked it as a kid. I was a big fan.
Very good performances from Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder as Clark and Lois. And you just really feel more weight in the story than you do in some of the later Superman movies. So I'd really recommend it.
Superman is not Marvel, right?
No, correct. Superman is DC.
Okay, DC. Second day in a row, I brought something for the view menu.
Okay. It's a good run for you.
Tom Cruise is the only actor in the top 10 highest grossing actors list of all time who isn't part of the Marvel universe. That's how big Marvel has been.
Yeah, but Scarlett Johansson's number one now, right?
Yep. Here's the list. Scarlett Johansson, LT, is now number one. Robert Downey Jr., Samuel L. Jackson, Zoe, Chris Pratt. There's Cruise, sixth all time. Vin Diesel, Hemsworth, Bradley Cooper, Chris Evans.
I don't put a lot of weight into that list.
What is Zoe Saldana made all her money in? The Marvel movies?
Avatar and Marvel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
But she's a really good actress. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched Linus. She's pretty good in that.
What do you mean you don't put a lot of weight in that
Well,
list?
just because these are ensemble Marvel movies. So, like, without Samuel Jackson, they're still going to do that kind of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I give more credit to a guy like Tom Cruise that, isn't part of the Marvel universe.
But that's crazy that he's the only one in that list that has done nothing Marvel. They've all done Marvel?
Yeah.
What's that dollar figure
pretty
for
sure-
Scarlett Johansson?
I'm pretty sure
14 billion.
everybody except for Tom Cruise has all been in the same Marvel movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they were all in Avengers Endgame. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I really don't want to.
That's $14.5 billion in worldwide box
Samuel
office.
is grinding 67 movies.
I know. Look at that. But hey, look at that number. No, I'll take
Chris Pratt, only 23, shortest number on that list.
He's chosen well, though.
You know, the other ones, like Tom Cruise with the Mission Impossible franchise. You know, Vin Diesel's got 2 franchises with Marvel and Fast and Furious.
Yep. And they're making their 11th movie and bringing back Paul Walker's character.
I would assume, though, net worth, Tom Cruise is going to be 1 on there. I bet Vin Diesel could be number 2 on there. Robert Downey Jr. maybe, but I mean, Vin Diesel just based on what he owns with the Fast and Furious.
That's our viewing menu brought to you by our friends at Michelson. We'll do our 4 downs in our next segment. Aaron McClain joins us at the top of the hour from the ACC Network to talk about Clemson, Miami, and the ACC race this year. The show also today being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop, just a great place to go in, pick up a little dinner, whether it's the fantastic meats like the steaks, the chicken, the ribs, those deli sandwiches, the side dishes made fresh in-house, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. 2 locations. Get in and see Jim, the great staff. Tell them the next round sent you. Original location, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Brown has something from our chat room brought to you today by our friends at Hemp Hill. Hemp Hill, hot or cold, that's how Brown's reading is. If you want your air conditioning to stay cold this summer, Hemp Hill can help you.
205-229-2090. That is the number. Adam, Chad, Andrew, they are awaiting your phone call. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues, home or business, they are ready to serve you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
It started with Keith's question in the chat room, and now there's more discussion. What is the bracket challenge plan? UNEG, I heard you guys planning this out. Sunday, is that still the day?
Yeah, I mean, I got to get a spray tan.
Spray tan on Sunday.
I don't know what to expect. EG was trying to, Maddie's already given me kind of a heads up. I'm going to smell. I'm going to be leaking.
Be sticky.
Color. Yeah, so I think I'm getting it Sunday once we get to Atlanta, and when I go on the air Monday, you will see me with a fresh spray tan.
So watch us social media. Always follow us on social media. Next Round Live on all social media. There'll be some video content.
Yeah, and here's the uncomfortable thing. Part of the deal, and you guys might not remember this, but I thought an important part of the deal was when we're in Atlanta, if people are asking me, I've got to own it. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
that is the deal.
So, like, if Lane Kiffin happened to come on the show, because somebody had this example.
He would be appreciative of the spray tan.
Yeah, he probably would. Where'd you get yours done, man? I get mine done. But if they ask, hey, why'd you get a spray tan?
Why do you ask?
Because I think it's cool. Like, I got to own it.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the answer. Still on, still in the works. Start watching Sunday on social media for some updates there.
All right, let's do our spotlight today. It is brought to you by our friends Alexander Shinara, trial attorneys. Tyler, man, hit it.
The College Football Spotlight.
Shinara Spotlight, presented by Alexander Shinara. His mission, create a firm that can handle any issue his community faces. His community is Birmingham, of course. He's done just that. Not just personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability claims, worker compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shinara trial attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shinara.com. Shinara.com.
There may be no more creative commissioner in college football when it comes to thinking outside of the box to try to keep his conference relevant, because they can't always do it on the field like the SEC or the Big Ten, than Brett Yormark at the Big 12. First, he kept that league alive when Texas and Oklahoma left. Hard to do. And yesterday, they announced that the Big 12 has teamed up with WWE, and they're going to bring Friday Night Smackdown to Big 12 markets the night before games this upcoming college football season, because you have a lot of people in town for games. So WWE will do Friday Night Smackdown, for instance, in Stillman, Oklahoma, the night before a game, or in
the stadium?
It's in Lubbock. I don't know if it's in the stadium or in the basketball arena.
I would think logistically it'd be too difficult to turn that around, but that's a great idea.
It is a fantastic idea.
It's just tremendous, because you get the promotional aspect of WWE.
Yeah, and WWE reaches a young audience, so the college students will show up for it for the party, and I think it's just good cross-promotion for your league. I mean, you're getting on, I don't even know where Friday Night Smackdown is on.
I think it's on Netflix.
Netflix, okay. So you won't have any games on Netflix, so you're introducing an entirely new audience and cross-promotion to your product. This is a genius idea.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
And you've always got these fans who come in camp or in town for games and stuff, and it's something to do on a Friday night.
Yep.
After you've eaten dinner, before you go to the bars and get ready for the game the next day.
And each school will try to one-up the other one. Each student body will, did y'all see what Kansas State did? Let's show them in Stillwater we're better than them.
Yeah. Also creative.
That's a great idea.
Also creative, the fine folks at Kansas State, NIL-wise. There's it's called Bev Hub. It's sort of like Adams Beverage is here, one of our great sponsors. It's a beverage company in Kansas. you can actually buy Avery Johnson strawberry lemonade. It's a product you can buy. They're in the state of Kansas.
Does he mix it?
He does not.
It's his own recipe.
But that's his favorite drink, strawberry lemonade, and they can it for you.
I'm not surprised. Him and his purple Corvette.
Which was given to him by a car dealer there in Kansas. Another one of his NILs. He has a lot of unique NILs, including CVS's in Kansas. Avery Johnson's their spokespersons for there in Kansas. So strawberry lemonade there with Avery Johnson.
Can we play one of those clips from the CVS? I'd love to see. Like, does he do commercials?
I've not seen that yet.
I'm Avery Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm Kansas State quarterback Avery Johnson.
When you need to run in there and pick up a Reese's cup, something for a bug bite, and your annual prescription, go buy CVS.
Dude, by the way, I never got bitten by bugs like mosquitoes until this year. And I don't know if it's next level. Has it been bothering you guys at all?
You know, we pay for the spray treatment at the house. They come with the backpack.
I do too, but the dog park over by Dunaway's house, it kills me.
Yeah.
I rarely get bit by a mosquito, but I got it at Mentone when I was outside. Got a couple of bites up there.
I'm going to suggest we've had a lot of rainfall, and it could have something to do with that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have more trouble with spiders than mosquitoes.
Really?
Yeah, I've been
hardly see
fighting off
spiders.
a nasty spider bite this week.
I will take mosquitoes. I'll take 1,000 mosquito bites to one spider bite.
Tyler got a spider bite. Have we diagnosed? You sure it wasn't venomous?
No, it was. I was in the urgent care after meltdown on Monday.
Okay, good. I'm glad you saw a doctor.
Yeah. It's not a brown recluse, but possibly a black widow.
Wow.
Where's the
quite
bite?
an update.
It's on my stomach.
Wow.
I don't know how.
A lot of questions here, Tyler.
Do you sleep on your back?
Yeah.
Wow.
Usually black widows run in packs. I'd find out where that thing is.
Yeah, and it could have laid eggs. Like your stomach might just explode with a bunch of little spiders coming out.
Not that you should worry about that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Alien?
I have.
What you're really itching to ask him if he's desiring to hang upside down and kiss a girl.
Is it an open sore?
It was at well, not open. That'd be a brown recluse, but it was a pretty nasty looking mark the other day. But the swelling's starting to go down.
Okay, well that's good.
SEC Media Days starts on Monday. We got the list of players who will be there for each school. Alabama is sending Tim Keenan, Deontay Lawson, and Caden Proctor. No quarterback for Alabama. They are one of 5 SEC schools not sending a quarterback. The others are Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, and Texas A&M.
When I got this, I don't know if it was the middle of the night, but I checked it in the middle of the night. And when I first opened it, it was 2022. Did you guys get that email too?
I didn't. They sent
but
the
I thought I was in a time warp. I was like,
very confused.
Damn, am I back in 2022?
Yeah. All those guys.
Would you have been excited to be back in 2022?
Well, yeah, because I would have played out like the way the 2022 season played out.
Yeah, you would bet on games differently, wouldn't you?
I can't believe you guys didn't get that.
I didn't see it, Lance.
Did not get that. Auburn is sending Jackson Arnold, their quarterback, new player, Falk and Lou, 2 potential early round NFL draft picks as well. Connor Lou and Keldrick Falk.
I was going to say, Alabama's sending 3 guys that could potentially go in the first round. 2 of those seem to be on a lot of people's list to go in the first round. And Auburn, for a change, has got some guys that are first-round potential, and certainly Keldrick Falk. He's going to be one of the best, or thought to be one of the best pass rushers in the game.
Yeah.
I thought Jackson Arnold was interesting, too. I mean, it's one of the guys I think people in the media really want to talk to. I think he's a fascinating guy.
Did you guys ever think that, first of all, Harold Perkins would still be at LSU, but he's not even going to SEC Media Days?
No one knows.
Green from Arkansas, Lagway, Gunnar Stockton from Georgia, Nussmeier, even Austin Simmons from Ole Miss. All the quarterbacks. Mateer is going to be there. Sharpen from Mississippi State. Sellers from South Carolina. Arch Manning. We'll get a lot of Arch Manning next week from Texas, and Diego Pavia from Vandy. All there next week. Part of our coverage from Atlanta. We'll be over there Sunday, coverage all week long, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from the ATL right here on the platforms. One more thing to get to, our 4 downs today. Before we get to 4 downs, LT, tell us about our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100. That is the number you need to call. The number that I called back in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
First down.
Okay, so more wins this year. I'm going to give you the combination of the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars, or Clemson.
I think I'll go Clemson. I know you're high on Carolina. I don't think Jacksonville's going to be very good. And I think Clemson's potential for 12 or 13 wins, so I'll take Clemson.
I think Carolina and Jacksonville will give you 6 each.
That's what I was going to say, 6-11, 6-11.
Yeah, so we'll get you to 12. I think Clemson's an 11-1 team. Win the ACC championship is 12. That's a tie. That gets us to the playoffs. They need to win a playoff game. I think they'll have a favorable first-round matchup. So I'll go 13 Clemson.
Yeah.
13-12 in favor of Clemson.
That's what I was counting on.
Second down.
More total touchdowns. Cade Klubnik, or I'll give you the combination of Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe. By the way, for the record, I think Milroe's good for 5 to 7. I think there's going to be special packages they will run, goal line situations.
I mean, he and Sam Darnold
Milroe
bring a totally different skill set. So in some situations, he could be very, very valuable for them.
Just passing or total?
Total.
I'll take Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe.
So I think the number last year for Milroe was 36. I think he had 20 rushing, 16 passing. I think Klubnik was right around 40. I think Klubnik goes up. I think Simpson will have probably more total touchdowns. Really, really close. I'm going to go Klubnik, though.
I mean, there's a world in which Jalen Milroe is your starter at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it will happen, but if Sam Darnold doesn't produce, if you're out of the playoff, realistically out of the playoff hunt, which you almost never are in the NFL, honestly, but if you are,
well, just the goal line package.
Yeah. I think I will go Simpson and Milroe in this one, too.
Yeah, me too.
Third down.
Ultimately, better career, Dabo Swinnney or Kirby Smart?
Kirby feels like the easy answer here, Jim.
Well, it does, but, to me, what Dabo's been able to do at Clemson, like we've always kind of known, much like Bear Bryant talked about Florida's sleeping giant, somebody like Spurrier takes it over, and you got to give Spurrier all the credit. Same with Georgia. Like Mark Richt had really, really good teams there. And once Kirby took it over, he took it to another level. But to me, it's easier to get that done at Georgia than it is at Clemson. I think Kirby's a better coach.
It depends on how long either one of them want to keep doing it. If one keeps doing it longer than the other, both could shut it down after this year, and it wouldn't shock me because they have other things they want to do in their lives and they made a ton of money. But I'm going to say if Kirby does it longer, it'll be Kirby.
If I told you, though, that Dabo won this year and Kirby never won another one, that's not a crazy statement.
It's not. So that's 3-2.
That'd be 3-2, and it'd be hard to go Kirby over Dabo at that point.
100%. 100%.
I'm going to say Kirby, but this is a really tough one.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to lean. It did feel easy, but I'm going to lean Kirby, but not so sure.
Fourth down.
Tom Hanks, 69 years old today. Ultimately, better career, Tom Hanks or Tom Brady? To me, this one's easy.
Yeah, you disrespect Tom Hanks' career a little bit.
Well, I just don't think he's done anything good in 20 years.
I mean, that's not wrong.
What's the last thing good he did then?
Yeah, what was his last really good movie? When was Road to Perdition? Was that 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been 20 years ago.
Was that the last one?
Yeah. I'm thinking most recent, good Tom Hanks movie, the Good Day in the Neighborhood.
Have you seen that one?
I have not.
That's actually a good flick.
Yeah,
I like that movie. Yeah.
I know I am in a small minority. I'm not a big fan of Tom Hanks. There's just something off about it.
You didn't like Forrest Gump?
I thought it was a good, entertaining movie. I don't think it was like the best performance in the world. I've always said Castaway was his best performance. Didn't win an Oscar. It was very interesting. He won a Golden Globe that year, and he lost in the same category in the Oscars to Russell Crowe as Maximus in Gladiator. So as good as he was in Castaway, I can't say you can take it away from Maximus because Russell Crowe was really good.
Yeah, that was tough.
That might be one of the best performances in film history.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
He was really good and big, though.
He was great and big.
Go back to that.
But I think he shows good range. You know, he played the guy in the airport. What's the name of that movie where he's stuck in the airport?
The Terminal.
The Departed.
No, The Terminal.
I never
the Departed
saw
as
that.
if he left the airport.
I'll tell you the one
caught a plane.
off over the last 20 years, Captain Phillips. I think 2013.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
That, to me, you say Castaway is over. I think overall it's his best role. I agree with you. The last 10 minutes of Captain Phillips is the best acting he's ever done. That was absolutely incredible.
But he's good in romantic comedies, too. He's
got great
very
range.
Good. So I'm going to go Tom Hanks.
I think I'll go Tom Hanks as
over
well.
Tom Brady.
As Sheriff Woody in Toy Story.
That's true. Yeah.
I saw Toy Story 5 is coming out.
Wow. Keep making that money, baby.
That is our 4 downs today. One more thing here in this segment before we get to the top of the hour, being brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks, LT, again, where the beer right now is 29 degrees.
29 degrees. I'm checking our kegerator in here from our friends at Bud Light.
37.
35 degrees.
That's cold.
Cold, but the 29 degree, it'll chill the teeth. Had a couple of those last week when I was in there enjoying a delicious lunch. If you're looking for great food and that really good environment, you can get it at Twin Peaks with Twin Peak girls running around everywhere, stopping for lunch, dinner, happy hour, all the Major League Baseball action at one of those convenient locations of Twin Peaks.
All right, so the folks at Yahoo, and again, 25 years, everybody's doing a quarter-century ranking. The best 25 draft picks in the last 25 years, this quarter century, in the NFL.
Okay.
The best draft pick. Who was the best draft pick? As I
think
tie the last story to this story. Who's the best draft pick that is drafted?
Okay, there you go.
Oh, well, so, in the last 25 years?
Last 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, who was picked, for those that don't remember, 6th in the 6th round of the 2000 draft.
So I guess Brock Purdy's on this list, too. I mean,
Brock Purdy is number 2, 7th round in 2022.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Okay, I do start to think, though, that when you look at 2 of the greatest to ever do it, Pat Mahomes and Aaron Donald, they were taken to the first round, but I think they went 10th each to Kansas City and Los Angeles. And if you've got 9 guys that go before
Pat
2
Mahomes.
of the best ever, those have got to be on this list.
Patrick Mahomes is 7th on this list. He was taken first round, but 10th overall in 2017. Aaron Donald, this is going to make you upset. Here he is, 17th. First round, 13th overall in 2014.
I mean, look at the 12 guys that went in front of him.
In front of who? Aaron Donald?
Yeah, and Aaron Donald in that draft. I mean, look, and I don't have it in front of me, but I'm just saying it's hard to believe that he fell all the way to 13th.
Number 3, according to Yahoo, is Jalen Hurts, 2nd round to the Eagles in 2020. Number 4 is first round, 24th overall, Aaron Rodgers to the Packers. Boy, I forget how good Antonio Brown was. He made a list yesterday, I did, and Antonio Brown, 5th. He was a 6th-round draft pick. He's the 5th best draft pick, according to Yahoo. 6th round to the Steelers.
You know where it changed for Antonio Brown? I'm not making light of this. I think it's 100% the truth. That Vontaze Burfict hit. Like, a lot of people say he was never the same after that.
Well, and I think when Le'Veon Bell left the Steelers, too, I think that affected it.
So when McCarron was the quarterback in that game that they should have won, when he leveled him in –
it was a helmet-to-helmet Burfict, and Burfict got tossed.
Yeah.
That's when it became crazy, AB.
I mean, that's what a lot of people say is, like, he was not the same after that hit. I think he stayed in the game, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, but a lot of people say from that, I mean, that was very late in the game.
But I do remember that it was like a 3 to 5 year period where Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham were the best receivers in football with Pittsburgh and the New York Giants.
I gave you the top 5. I gave you 7 at Patrick Mahomes. Number 6. This name, since we've done this platform, may be the most mentioned name on our show.
Ariana Grande.
When it comes to the NFL.
She's falling back.
I know.
She's falling along.
Derrick
Henry.
Huh? Taylor Swift.
Puka Nacua.
Puka.
5th round pick, 2023. 6th best draft pick in the last 25 years. Others of note, let's see. Jason Kelsey was a 6th round pick. Richard Sherman was a 5th round pick. We forget that, I think. Russell Wilson was a 3rd round pick. George Kittle was a 5th round pick. Travis Kelce was a 3rd round pick. Dak Prescott, a 4th round pick. By the way, Dak is healthy and ready for camp. Look at Max Crosby was a 4th round pick. Tyreek Hill was a 5th round pick. Amon
that was character.
Ross St. Brown.
There were some extenuating circumstances with Tyreek Hill.
Fourth
for sure.
round pick. So some good value in the draft there. Those are the greatest draft picks in this quarter century, according to Yahoo. When we come back, we talk about what has been a pretty good quarter century of Clemson football, thanks to Dabo Swinnney. Eric McClain was part of that. He's with the ACC Network. He joins us on the other side. This is The Next Round.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Roback. Go to Roback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We brought up interns on the show yesterday.
No, I do want to know now.
What a transition.
I mean, I've got.
That's not where I'm going, bro.
Well, it can only be one of 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I could narrow it down quickly. Yeah.
And our friend Taylor, who listens to the show and buys gear nextround.store, DMs me and says, I'm listening to the show late, not live today, and my feelings are hurt. Intern to executive director of athletics right now, building an athletic program back after a 10-year hiatus, and I don't get mentioned. And I didn't think you were with us. I thought you were an opening drive intern. And she's like, no, round table, baby. I only left you guys to
I remember
help Jay and Sarah out with the kids.
Yeah, I remember when Taylor was with us.
Yeah.
I remember. I always thought Taylor was with them and not with us.
Completely separate, though. We found out that one is on OnlyFans.
That was what
I was not going to bring that up.
That's what the chat room said.
I mean,
not Taylor though.
You make your career decisions, right?
Champy's Chicken bringing you this hour, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. And Clemson's our 40-40 team. When it comes tailgating again, you go down and see Sterling and the crew at champyschicken.com. Let's talk a little Clemson football now.
Let's do it. Eric Lain played for those Clemson Tigers. He ran down that hill a number of times, and he is now on the ACC network, and he is now with us on the Alexander Shinora Trial Attorneys Hotline. Welcome in, Eric. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing great. Running down the hill might be a little bit too much credit. I kind of waddled down slowly down that steep hill.
I was going to ask if you ever had the honor of being the first one down, but then I remembered you were a lineman, so the answer is no.
Well, and you remember, Dabo is not going to let anybody be that guy.
Dabo's always going to win that race.
It's not even that, but you can't catch him. I mean, he's running 4.340 down this decline, and no, I was always towards the back, man. I like to kind of let it all unfold and see it all happen.
I was always I was not like a helicopter dad or one of those clingy parents. I believe your kids, they got to get hurt, they got to get some scrapes to toughen up. But I would always get nervous when my kids ran downhill for some reason. Like it always looks like, Eric, that you're going to fall at the end. I mean, was it nerve-wracking running down the hill? Was there ever part of you that's like, boy, if I bust it, it is going to be everywhere?
Yeah, it'll be everywhere. And I'll tell you, my first time running down the hill, we're playing Troy in 2011. One of my roommates and best friends at the time decides to jump at one part doing the hill, comes down, snaps his ankle. And so I saw that first in live and in person. So I knew from that moment on, I would waddle slowly down the hill.
Oh, wow. How did that not make not top 10 of the week?
Yeah, because they were playing Troy. If it had been an ACC.
Yeah, Eric.
That's right.
We were talking.
Probably wasn't even on TV back then, man.
Talking 2 important ingredients for former championship teams from Dabo Swinnney. Elite quarterback play, dominant defensive lines. It seems like coming into 2025, he's got both of those ingredients again.
Yeah, it really does, man. And, it's one of those things that it's just so interesting because we are in a society where we expect everything right now to be perfect, right? And, I think back to this time last year and thinking about Cade Klubnik and just not knowing what he was going to be, who he was going to be. Did he have enough to get over the hump and to become the quarterback I thought he could? And that was a resounding yes. And the year that he had and the expectation now going into this year and excitement, that you have from him, I think he's the best quarterback in the country. When you look at all the things that he can do, the skill set that he has, and now you're adding experience and leadership qualities to kind of be the cherry on top. Sky's the limit for that young man. And oh, by the way, he has a plethora of weapons that he can get the ball to that are going to be really, really explosive and have a great year. And then you mentioned the other part that maybe is equally, if not a little bit more important. That's that dynamic defensive line. Peter Woods, TJ Parker are amongst the best in the country, and I think going to be drafted extremely high when that time comes if they decide to leave this year or do one more kind of run at it. And then you add a guy like Will Held from Purdue, 6'6", 275 across from TJ, and then kind of a revolving door of, 5 stars that are just waiting in the wing for that other defensive tackle spot.
One of the worst nights in my professional life was watching Alabama get drilled by Clemson out in Santa Clara. It just was not the best professional trip of my career, but that receiving core was so good for Clemson. And finally, it seems like that kind of talent, not exactly that kind of talent, but close to it, is back as well at Clemson. How good are these receivers?
Oh man, they're tremendous. And you talk about that trip and just seeing guys make big plays, right? It doesn't have to be a unbelievable pass every time, but if they just get you the ball, what can you do with it? And that core in particularly did a great job of touching it and scoring, right? Not just picking up a good amount of yards. They found a way, and this group very similarly has that chance, and it's different body types. You know, you've got a guy who I think is the alpha, and Antonio Williams come back for his senior year, going to do a really good job. He's shifty. He can make the big play, do a lot of things through the air. And then you look at TJ Moore, who, you know, is just a big body guy, go get it type of receiver. And then the speedster in Bryant Wesco. Those are kind of the headliners, right? But people forget that Tyler Brown, who was hurt last year, was coming off a freshman All-American season. He was Clemson's best receiver 2 years ago by far, and a guy that was very explosive, could do it in the slot, could spread out wide, give him a reverse. They just were finding ways to get him the football at the end of his freshman year, and of course got banged up in spring and wasn't able to really play last year. He's back as a fourth option, or first one coming off the bench. And Cole Turner, who is explosive in regards to going up and getting the football. So that kind of core five right there, man, I'd put him up against anybody in the country.
You know, Jim mentioned that. Yeah, just real quick sidetrack. Jim mentioned that game. All I can remember in that game, and it's kind of sad that I remember this, is how unbelievable Justin Ross was, and just some of the struggles he had to endure injury-wise after that. I mean, in that game, Eric, he looked like he was going to be a first-ballot Hall of Fame NFL receiver.
Right. He really did. And, you know, it is unfortunate. And, you know, he's been able to be active in the NFL a couple of times, but it's just necks are weird things, right? And when you have those type of surgeries and you're dealing with some different things of that nature, it is unfortunate. But he's immortalized, you know, forever. And against, you know, the team he grew up probably either loving or hating, to do it at the highest level and to have the type of game he did was pretty remarkable.
You know, Brown brought this up earlier, talking about, you know, the elite quarterbacks that Dabo's had in the past, from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence. How does Cade Klubnik get in that conversation, and maybe even between or on top of those two? Is that even possible?
Yeah, you know, I think he's got to win a championship, right? Like that's kind of the air that you're talking about, and not a conference championship, a national championship. To be, you know, deemed right there, that's what you have to do. Now, certainly I think that he has a chance to continue to be in the level of the Taj Boyds and the Kelly Bryants and, you know, things of that nature, which is really good, and it's exceptional. And, you know, from a statistic standpoint, Taj Boyd, one of the best ever to wear the pall. But, you know, to win a championship, that puts you in that rare air when you really start discussing these are one of the best that coaches ever had.
There was a moment in the last couple of years that I thought we were near the end of Dabo Swinnney coaching college football, because he just didn't look like where the game was going, that he wanted to buy into any of it. What changed last year, if anything, and why is he being successful now in a world that he didn't really want to exist, of the NIL and basically pay for play?
Yeah, you know, I think it's interesting because, you know, obviously as we get closer to the season, you know, we do more and more of these radio things with different markets, and you're like the fourth person that's kind of told me that. And it's so interesting just to see the outside, you know, perspective from people in different places. And I think there's some validity to it, right? Like he didn't look happy, and there were times where it just wasn't quite the same guy, because the game is changing and there's different things and there's different rules. But I think that he stuck to his beliefs and he stuck to what he thought was best for Clemson. And, you know, everything kind of, you know, comes full circle. And now, I mean, the excitement and the discussion of Clemson going into this year is like it's 2019 all over again, coming off that national championship. So he stuck it out. He found his way. And also, you know, he dipped into the portal. And I think it's one of those things where it's not that he was against it. It's just nobody would leave. Clemson didn't have room, and he's not, you know, going to be like some of these schools where they'll tell you to go. They'll kick you out. You know, Clemson retains, and people want to stay, you know, there. And that's a big deal. So he didn't have the room, but, you know, you have a couple of guys leave this past off season, and he had 2 or 3 spots that, you know, they filled pretty quickly, and they feel like will be really dynamic. So I think, you know, just doing that marginally, this new market of revenue share, he's all about. And, you know, Clemson, he and athletic director Graham Neff have said multiple times, we're going to be as aggressive as anybody in the country. We're putting a massive piece of that revenue pie to Clemson football, and they're going to distribute it accordingly. So, you know, he's embraced it, and, you know, it's going to be fun to see how can they continue to build on it.
Eric McLean, ACC Network, ESPN, for a few more moments on the Alexander Shinora Trial Attorneys Hotline. I think, popular answer to my next question is Miami. So if your answer is Miami, that's fine, but give me another one, please, too. If not Clemson in the ACC, who wins the ACC?
Yeah, I think you're right there, just in regards to the talent that they have and the way that they have, built their roster. It's one of the things where you got to give them credit, but can they do it, right? It's an easy choice right now preseason, as it has been the last 4 years, to say, yeah, Miami this, Miami that. They have to go out and do it. So I think you still, though, have to give a lot of credit to SMU and the things that they were able to do a year ago, how they were able to capitalize. They went undefeated in the conference, and then, were lost to Clemson in the ACC championship, but still made the college football playoff. Kevin Jennings is back. Kevin Jennings is going to be, a second-year starter now, and the growth that we expect to see from him, I think, should be very similar to what we saw from Cade Klubnik last year, going from year 1 to year 2 as a starter. Now, they lost a lot of other pieces around him from a leadership and execution standpoint, specifically defensively, but I think they're going to reload. Offensively, they've got a bunch of speed coming back. They have some young guys that are ready for their turn, and I think they're going to make the most of it. Love what Coach Rhett Lashley is doing. Love what, Coach De'Aaron King at the quarterback position is doing. And, I think they're going to be something to wreck with. I think Louisville is also another choice. I think Jeff Brom's one of the best in the country at what he does. And offensively, they're going to be really, really good. Maybe take a step back defensively, but they're going to be able to score with anybody.
Okay, an extension on that question. So Clemson, Miami, Louisville, and SMU. What other teams out of the ACC surprise you to get to a college football playoff? Can you give me one or two outside of those four that could have that kind of special season?
Yeah, I think, it'd be super far-fetched. And, of course, Alabama's playing them first. But, with Tommy Castellano, so I'm sure that was a very popular soundbite a couple of weeks ago. If y'all haven't heard of him, maybe look him up. I think that, having a mobile quarterback like that is always such a game changer, and you saw how horrific it was last year when they had the complete opposite of that at the quarterback position. I mean, it was historically the worst season ever in FSU history. I don't know if they have enough pieces around him, but I think he's a good enough coach, and I think Tommy has some juice. It'll just be if he can walk after week 1. That'll be interesting. And then, it's a team, that again, you talk about dark horse for a playoff. That just seems like a stretch, but I like what Georgia Tech has a lot. I mean, I think that Haynes King is gritty as all get out. I love Coach Key, and they have a really good running back in Jamal Haynes as well. For me, it's just going to be health. Where can that team land? How can they sustain for an entire year? And will they be able to be at full strength?
Much like Castellanos, Eric McLean runs the ACC network all by himself. He doesn't need support.
By my damn
all
self.
by my damn self. I ran the league. I was.
Hey, we'll find out. We'll find out quick.
Yeah, I would guess that quote made it to Tuscaloosa. We'll see though. Perhaps week 1. Eric, thank you very much for the time. Always great talking with you. Have a great summer. What's left of it?
Yeah. Appreciate you guys as well. Stay cool, and we're close, baby. Kickoff's right here.
All right, buddy. Take care. Eric McLean of the ACC Network and ESPN with us on the Alexander Shinora Trial Attorneys Hotline.
He said we're close. I thought he said wear clothes.
I did too. Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah, stay cool and wear clothes.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah, it's hard to do both. Brown, put your glasses on. I got a little breaking news here brought to you by our friends at Breakline Optics. Before you tell us about Breakline, Brownie, here's the breaking news. It's a signed deal now. PJ Fleck has signed a contract extension with the Minnesota that'll keep him the coach there through 2030. 8 seasons, 56-39, losing seasons in 2017, the shortened season in 2020 and 2023. Shocked that he's still at Minnesota and surprised that they've signed him through 2030 or not?
I'm not surprised they've signed him through 2030 because he's a great fit there. I'm a little surprised that he didn't get out and get another job, but he's done a hell of a job there. Say what you want about P.J. Fleck. I know he's not a likable guy. Good fit, done a great job with a really difficult program.
$6 million is what I see was his salary as of last year. I assume there's probably a raise in this, so you're getting to the point like, where else are you going to go?
6-0 in bowl games. So when you get to the bowl game, he wins.
He fires them up for late December, huh?
Yeah, they row the boat. PJ Fleck staying there at Minnesota. Tell us about Breakline.
Yeah, some Breakline Optics breaking news there with PJ Fleck. These glasses I am wearing, you can find those at breaklineoptics.com, breaklineoptics.com, or if you're in Birmingham, want to see them for yourself, Deep South Outfitters in Birmingham carries Breakline Optics. It is a local group of guys that have a national company selling these amazing sunglasses. They look great. They are built to last. These lenses, they're molded, polarized Trivex lenses. What does that mean to you? It means they're basically indestructible. How often have you dropped a pair of sunglasses, you've scratched or broken the lenses or the frames? You're not going to suffer that most of the time with Breakline. That's the way they're built, and they're built for the outdoors. Breakline, that's the line between where the salty water and the freshwater meets. You fishermen and fisher ladies probably know that. Well, that's what this company is named after. These are glasses that are made to withstand everything that they're going to face outdoors. So if you're a golfer, hunter, fisherman, you just love to be out on the lake or the pool, these are great glasses. See more, breaklineoptics.com, breaklineoptics.com.
Ross Dellinger with an interesting story from Big 12 Media Days, but it covers all of college football. It's about cap circumvention. A friend of mine sent us the story this morning via text. Schools are guaranteeing third-party NIL collectives are paying recruits, and $50 million front-loaded rosters are here as the NIL clearinghouse is mired in legalities. Big 12 coaches say cap circumvention is happening. People are lying and promising fake things. That's from Ross Dellinger, a whole story. Here's Kenny Dillingham, the head coach at Arizona State, talking about that cap smoothing, as I said earlier this week, you'd hear a lot of, and what they're trying to do at Arizona State.
It's all about treating the guys in your team great. And if you treat the guys in your team great, when you get a good player, he's going to stay there. If you constantly are looking for the next best thing to replace the guys in your team, then your own guys in your team should leave. Why wouldn't they? If you're not loyal to them, they shouldn't be loyal to you. I think that's the one thing that I take a lot of pride in is, our best players are going to make the most money on our team. And if you have a problem with that, become a best player. And if you're not the best player and you want to make more money, then I'm going to help you leave. So not just to make more money, so you can play. But at the end of the day, our best players deserve to make the most money. Our best players, our best young guys deserve to make the next most so they can grow into playing. We're all about production. We're all about, doing it in our program. And I think that's why a lot of our players stayed here is they know that we're going to take care of them when they deserve it. And they know we're going to treat them fairly, and they know I'm never going to lie to them in the recruiting process. And are we going to lose a lot of recruits because I'm not going to tell a kid he's going to make $500,000 and put in the contract that I can change your salary at my discretion, which is happening. In the contract, I can change your salary at my discretion. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm about.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, that is common sense. Best players make the most money.
Yeah.
That's right.
I appreciate the honesty of saying it, though. A lot of people won't say that.
Yeah, but that's the way Kirby Smart does it, too.
Yeah.
And he gets dinged a little bit because he is telling recruits, this is what you'll make the first year, and then you'll make this and this if you continue to progress up. But it's interesting in the contract.
That's what really jumped out.
Yeah.
But if you've got the control and the power in the program, it should be do you not think Kirby's got the discretion that he can go and say, we can change your NIL at any point?
But it's not a contract at that point. It's if you can change it at your discretion, then
you can change it the other way too, right?
You can,
but you can also there's no guaranteed money for me there.
But let me ask you this: if my discretion is based on off-field issues, not necessarily play, but off-field issues. So, in other words, in the NFL, they're under a contract, and they can't change the contract, but they can fine you.
Yeah.
And they can be substantial fines based on certain things you do.
Yeah, that's not what it did sound like that what he was talking about.
I agree with you, but if that's at my discretion, I also don't want a player to think I'm going to come in and sign this, now I run the joint too, right? I've got to keep some sort of upper hand.
Yeah, but the way it's being portrayed by a lot of people is that a lot of the people that are succeeding in the recruiting right now are promising recruits things that, we heard the athletic director at Auburn say it the other day, that come August 1, when these contracts are actually signed, they don't believe some of these schools are going to be able to back up what they promised these recruits with all these commitments. That's what he said. On August 1, then we're going to find out who really has put what they promised down on paper, and is that really going to be there? And Kenny Dillingham is saying, and Ross Dellinger's reporting is saying that there's a lot of people making promises out there they're not going to be able to keep or will not keep.
You know, what's interesting is what John Cohen said about that is, do you think that's a situation, let's just randomly say Brett Bielema, Illinois. He's promised $10 million in NIL. He hasn't got the backing of his big boosters yet, but if it comes to that point, if you're one of these big boosters and he comes back and he's like, hey, I need another $500,000, do you let the program get a bad name and guys leave? Do you use that leverage and play that card without actually having a commitment from some of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's the slippery slope, the tricky nature of where we are in college athletics. But I will say, as you both brought up John Cohen, a lot of people that cover Auburn, like Justin Hokanson with Auburn Live and are on 3, and a lot of Auburn fans pointed at that Ross Dellinger tweet and said, this is what John Cohen and Hugh Freeze are talking about. And some said it and some left it unsaid, as that Auburn is doing it differently. They're not doing it that way. Now, I'm not here to commentate on that. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But that's what a lot of people said, Lance, is what Ross Dellinger is talking about, is what Auburn is trying to avoid. Will that strategy work? I do not know. Only time will tell on that one. We'll have to see where Auburn finishes in recruiting and where all the other schools that are breaking those rules finish in recruiting.
Yeah. But one of my Auburn friends that I play golf with says, what's the penalty to the other schools?
There isn't one.
That's what he says. He goes, we got to get in the game. Why are we playing, if what he is saying is true, they're playing a different game. Why are we playing a different game? We need to be playing the game everyone else is playing. Why are we playing a different game? Because are you sitting back waiting for the NCAA or somebody to punish somebody that's, making fake promises? Or
because
that's not going to happen.
Yeah. And that was the other thing in Ross's tweet, is that this NCAA clearinghouse is already so overwhelmed that everybody knows. It's almost like, I don't know if you guys do this, but when you're driving down a road or the interstate and there's like 4 state troopers at one spot, you're like, I can really open her up now. There ain't another state trooper anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what's going on apparently right now with the NCAA, is this clearinghouse has gotten so overwhelmed that they're like, no, we can do anything we want right now.
A better example for me is when I'm riding down the interstate, if I'm part of 12 cars that are going 85 miles an hour, I feel less likely I'm going to get a ticket than if I'm the only one going 85 miles an hour.
I need to be in the middle. I prefer to be in the middle, but I don't want to be flashy on the back or the front. I want to be in the middle.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of schools are doing right now.
I just feel like if I'm part of everybody's doing it, or a lot of the big boys are doing it, then if I'm driving 85 and a 65, I don't feel like I'm going to get a ticket.
I got in a funeral procession yesterday on 65.
But I have not seen one of those in forever.
We talked about it on the show. I saw one back roads coming home from the beach, and then I was in one yesterday, literally in the middle of one, because we're going down 65, 3 lanes, and I see a police car up ahead. I think it's a wide load, right? But everybody, it's like we're on a pace lap in NASCAR. Everybody's driving the same speed limit as the police car, so nobody's going anywhere. Well, I've got to get off, so I dive over in the middle lane. There was a little gap there. And then when I get in the middle lane, I notice that everybody behind the police car has their flashers on, and people behind me have their flashers on. That's a funeral procession, right? Well, I'm right in the middle of it, and now everybody's closed the gap, so I'm right in the middle of this funeral. I'm like, I really need to get off the interstate. I hate to be insensitive, but I need somebody to let me over.
Did you turn your radio down?
I did not. Should I have
Are
done
you supposed
that?
to?
Is that?
When I'm riding in a funeral procession, it hasn't happened a lot, but I always leave the radio off.
I put on Freebird. I've got it ready, ready to kick in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, I got an interesting
Spirit in the sky.
I got an interesting CBS Sports story about the greatest college football rivalries in the first 25 years. We'll talk about that and trash coming up in the next segment here. But one more thing I wanted to point out here is uniform discussions popped up yesterday on the show. And somebody sent a picture. I think it was Roll Tide Kelly or something like that on Twitter.
Is Roll Tide Willie still alive?
I don't know. I don't see much from him.
He popped on my feed. He'd gone down, but him and my feed had gone way down, but he was getting waxed. Ears, nose, and eyebrow waxed.
Okay.
I'm sure it was an endorsement deal.
Yeah, so we're to that point. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Was getting waxed on my TikTok feed last night. Willie, I'm telling you, it's going to hurt. I know it's going to hurt.
That sounded just like him.
The facial, you didn't see the facial.
But Roll Tide Kelly, not Roll Tide Willie, on Twitter yesterday sent this picture of Bobby Humphrey jumping over for a touchdown against Tennessee. And what stuck out to me in this picture was the white striping on the Tennessee uniform. This would have been, mid-'80s for Bobby Humphrey. And I like the Tennessee uniforms with the white stripes on the jerseys. You?
I to be honest with you, what do they look like now? So the white stripe is gone now, and it's just an orange sleeve.
It's a great point, Jim. You're going to say, Jim, they still have those.
I don't know.
I don't remember them
You're talking
having
about on the
those
sleeve,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Different shade of orange. That looks Texas-like, though,
It
with
does.
the white stripes.
I agree. That is almost more of a burnt orange than a Tennessee orange. And I know Bobby Humphrey wasn't playing against Texas.
Yeah, I did have to double look as I started saying this because I agree with the LT that it does look more burnt orange on our. Yeah. Maybe it's the tint of the TV.
No, you can see our guy Charles Davis right there coming in to try to make the tackle on Humphrey. He's got the Tennessee T on the side of his helmet there.
Yeah. But if Tennessee doesn't have that striping on his uniform anymore, they need to bring that back.
Well, you get a lot of players that go sleeves up under pads, so it doesn't really matter what the striping is. You don't see them.
Yep. That's about as good of a Tennessee jersey you can ever get right there.
I saw that the Commanders today announced they're going back. They're obviously not going to go to the Redskin logo, but the old Redskin color scheme and uniform that they wore in the Super Bowl years is going to be one of the uniforms they cycle in for their home uniform. I was never a fan of it. I never liked the Redskins, but I appreciate the fact that
was my fraternity colors.
Yellow, burgundy, and
burgundy and gold.
Burgundy and gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like more of a red and more of a yellow.
Yeah, more
USC. Like USC or Iowa State. I think Iowa State's got a good color scheme.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back, we got college football rivalries between coaches, coaching rivalries. Will back us to the story. I got a few good ones here on who ended up actually winning these rivalries in the first quarter century. And with trash still to come on the show that's being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Hemp Hill. Tell us about Hemp Hill.
205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there if you experience any plumbing or heating or cooling issues in your home or business. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. HempHillServices.com.
Does Tennessee still have those uniforms, by the way? I don't know. Let us know, fans. Our friends also at New Life Art. Is there any Tennessee in the Daniel A. Morris paintings? Maybe on the Rocky Block? I'll take a look here. You can celebrate Nick Saban's 6 national championships in Tuscaloosa by going to DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR, and a lot more. There's an old Tennessee Road uniform. Hard to tell there if the striping's on the sleeve. The striping on the sleeve really makes a uniform for me. I like LSU's. I don't want Alabama to do it, don't get me wrong, but I like that.
I like LSU jerseys, too.
Me, too. It's a great one. DanielMooreArt.com for the great additions to your sports room or your offices. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. We're back in a moment.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that quality legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
One of the guys who is a friend of mine that rides your tail, Brownie.
What?
Everything comes out of your mouth.
Oh, he gets on me?
Yeah. Actually pays you a compliment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It means a lot more when all they do is be negative.
Because he's in the sportswear industry.
Okay.
Adidas.
Yeah. Does he happen to rep Adidas?
Brown's right. Due to the way jerseys are constructed now, typically there are not stripes on the end of the sleeve since the players tuck those under the shoulder pad.
Yeah, see?
Wow, that's the most positive thing he said about Brown.
Yeah, that was the nicest thing he said about
Yeah.
Tell him I like...
Give me one of the negative things he says about Brown.
No.
Tell him I like the stuff that they put on Ludwig Goldberg. They got him decked out well. That's their future star at Adidas. They need to keep him.
Our friends at Company Distilling is a great company now available in Alabama.
Did you find out if the acronym is legitimate, though?
Adidas?
Yeah.
I
okay.
Don't even know what we're talking about.
Do Google that.
Yeah.
That's a corn song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Scott knows what I'm talking about.
Okay. Hey, if you're looking for a summer road trip worth toasting to, our friends at Company Distilling, 3 must-visit distillery destinations across Tennessee. Thompson Station just outside of Nashville, historic Lynchburg and Townsend in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. Take a tour, enjoy a flight of award-winning whiskey, sip on a craft cocktail, soak it all in with the best of Company. Plan your visit at companydistilling.com. All ages welcome to visit. Must be 21 plus to sample. Enjoy responsibly. And you can now find Company Distilling in ABC stores across Alabama and states like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina as well.
Oklahoma State's Mike Gundy today, along with Deion Sanders at Big 12 Media Day. But Gundy just said this, per Brett McMurphy of On3 Sports. We will have 35 new players in pads in August, and we've never seen them play. 18 portal additions should play in the first game. If not, we shouldn't have brought them in.
He's going Butch Jones. We're young. Doesn't that sound we're young and we had to go to the portal because we're so young?
35 new guys in pads in August.
Yeah.
18 of them in the portal, and they should play in the first game. If not, we shouldn't have brought them in. That's Mike Gundy. The projections are not good for this Oklahoma State team.
No, they are not. I was about to bring that up, Lance.
I do think, though, with the Big 12, and I'll let you get to your point, Brown, we're just going to go based on the year before because everybody thinks Arizona State's going to win it and Oklahoma State's not going to be good again. I just look at how consistent Mike Gundy has been historically with a very average program. And I think, unfortunately, for Mike Gundy, when his time is all said and done in Stillwater, I don't think he's going to get the respect he deserves.
Probably not, because I think it's going to be a bad finish. But my point was going to be, Jim, only Arizona's got worse odds to win the conference than them. If he backs up that 0 what do they play, 9 conference games out there?
Yeah, 0-9
0-9 with a 1-8.
He's gone.
Or 2-7. I don't know that he survives that. I think that's finally the end of Gundy.
Will Backus at CBS Sports put together, as everyone is doing, I keep telling you, 25 years, first quarter century rankings, some of the best coaching rivalries of the first 25 years of this century in college football. And I got the results of the rivalries. One of the great ones was Bob Stoops, Mac Brown, Oklahoma, and Texas of this quarter century. Started in 1999.
Stoops definitely had the winning
feel like Stoops.
Went to 2013, 9-6 Bob Stoops. Yep. 4 of those were blowouts, so by the way, but 9-6.
Yeah, Oklahoma had the better program then and felt like numbers show it, won the game more often than not.
According to Will, one of the great ones that only lasted for 3 games in college, but went to the NFL, Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll.
Oh. I was going Urban Meyer and Nick Saban.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll.
I never really thought of that, but Harbaugh did have Stanford dialed in, and then the transition over to David Shaw, they were still really good.
Well, it started with a huge upset.
Yeah, yeah. They were a 41.5 point underdog in the Coliseum with the third string quarterback.
07, 08, 09, 2-1 Harbaugh.
Yeah,
over Pete Carroll, including a blowout where he ran up the score at the end, the last game. Went for 2 late, ended up getting over 50, went for 2 trying to get 50 points,
like
missed it, ended up scoring another touchdown late to get to 55 points. And Pete Carroll said, "What are you doing after the game?" He said, trying to score.
Trying to win.
I do.
When Harbaugh left and took the 49ers job, he said, "One of the reasons I took this job is because I get to play Pete 2 times a year."
Jeez.
And now they're playing the Chargers, and now he's with the Raiders.
Yeah, I was going to bring up for people that might not realize that Pete Carroll is back in the NFL with the Las Vegas Raiders. We will get to see that matchup twice. I do remember Pete Carroll, though, against Rick Neuheisel, up 43-0, I think was the score. One of the final plays of the game, play action pass up top to make it 50-0.
Yeah, I was about to say, Pete can't really complain.
Pete's done it before himself.
They pistol whipped a few people, too.
The reason why the Egg Bowl got so nasty was Dan Mullen versus Hugh Freeze. They're the ones that really took it to a different level of hate in that rivalry. 2012 through 2016, 5 games. Who was ahead in that one? Don't count the vacations.
I would say Dan Mullen.
Hugh Freeze, 3-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you have to say don't count the vacation.
Yeah. 2 vacated ones, so technically the NCAA sees it 2-1 Mullen with 2 games.
We've had good coaches in the Magnolia State, but a lot of petty coaches.
Yeah. I'm going to do 3 Sabans real quick. They mentioned 2 in there. Saban Smart, Will Backus says, is a great one.
Dominant.
5-1 Saban.
Yep.
One was a national championship, though. Saban and Jimbo, 5-1 Saban was mentioned, but brought up the interview I did with Nick Saban where he said they bought every single one of them.
Every single one.
I threw Saban and Malzahn in there, and just to point out how much better Malzahn was than Smart in Jimbo was.
3-6?
5-3 in favor of Saban. I mean, that's not domination.
That's as good as anybody else has done, yeah.
But the best rivalry, according to Will Backus, of the first quarter century, Harbaugh and Ryan Day.
Whoa. They didn't do Saban Miles? I thought Saban Miles was a really good rivalry.
Was not mentioned.
What about Saban Meyer?
Yeah, Saban Meyer was short-lived, but it did carry over to Ohio State. Did you not think Saban Miles was the best one of the Saban era?
I hope I read the whole story,
Okay.
Brownie, but
No, that's fine.
I'll go back and check Will Backus again. But Harbaugh and Day, 2019 through 2023, Harbaugh 3-1 in that one.
I never would have thought that one. But
Yeah. A lot of hatred there between those two guys. And that is a whole story. You can see it all, and maybe the ones I missed there. Will Backus at CBSSports.com. Before we get to trash, Storm Restoration Roofing. That's our buddy Greg from Pell City. He's ready to give you that free no-cost roof inspection. And again, if you haven't heard back, if you called in the last week or so, they had an incident in their family there that taken up some of their time, and they may have a loss in thoughts and prayers, texted or called to the office there that may have lost your request for that free no-cost roof inspection. So do me a favor and do Greg a favor again and just shoot him a quick text at this number. It's the number on your screen. It's cell number, goes directly to Greg, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. It's Greg from Pell City on Facebook. He just doesn't want to lose anybody who's expecting a call back from Storm Restoration Roofing for that free no-cost roof inspection. They do full roof replacement, storm damage, and all of that. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook.
After the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's blind.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, whether you're heading to the lake, the beach, the pool, pick up some cold, delicious Bud Light. So our buddy Zach sent me this. I mean, one of the more heartbreaking stories we've seen are these Texas floods over the last week. But Robert Plant, former frontman for Led Zeppelin, actually showed up in flood-ravaged Texas. And it says here, while others sent their thoughts and prayers, he actually built a shelter.
Robert Plant did?
Yeah, and he, quote, "I'm not here to be seen, I'm here to serve."
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a still shot of him, with first responders, and I mean, he's just in a T-shirt and jeans and handing out supplies, and
with seemingly no connection whatsoever.
No,
that's pretty remarkable.
Now, of course, the negative, the trolls.
Oh, I know. Should have built a better shelter.
No, what do you think the first comment is?
It's I don't know. What is?
I would imagine he has a lot of sins to atone for.
Jeez.
I mean,
how do you respond?
Yeah, there it is right there. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
He could have just bought them all a new house.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's always something like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
on ground. I mean,
by people sitting on the couch.
By the way, at 76 years old to be chipping in.
Yeah, good for Robert Plant.
Still got some wild ass hair for a 76-year-old.
Doesn't he?
Unusual attack by bees in a French town has left 24 people injured, including 3 in critical condition, according to local authorities. I did see on my Instagram where local TV station popped up, killer bees are back in Alabama this summer. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Yep.
Well, look out for Tyler. He's already getting eaten by spiders.
Now, if there's enough of them, they all can be killer bees.
That's true. That's a good point.
Firefighters and medical teams were rushed to the scene to treat the victims while police set up a security perimeter until the bees stopped their attack. 3 people in critical condition were evacuated to a local hospital. They said one 78-year-old was stung 25 times. I would think that would be the death knell, wouldn't you?
Yeah, is that the 78-year-old Tyler? Is that him in the photo?
No, this is an artistic rendering.
What it might look like?
It might look like if you were to fight off a drive-by of bees.
I've taken the bees in that artistic rendering. I think they got the old man there.
Man, I had a wasp, knock on wood. I've never been stung by a wasp, but I had one land on my hand randomly yesterday at the when I was pumping gas.
What'd you do? You just very still?
Yeah, it just flew off. But I had my car door open. I was a little nervous it was going to fly into the car. That's one of the worst things when you have a bee or wasp in the car.
It happened to me, and I can give you the day it happened, guys. Do y'all remember last summer when we went down for the music festival?
Yeah.
With Coder, and we did our show from there? I was driving back roads after you get off in Georgiana. You know what I'm talking about? All right. I'm driving back roads, so I got the windows down and the sunroof open and the music popping, and a yellow jacket flew in. And I immediately killed it with a napkin, and I wrapped the napkin up, and I was going to try to just dump the yellow jacket out. And as I did that, it stung me. It still had some life in the old body yet. and it stung me. And that thing
went down with a fight,
it
man.
did. My finger throbbed the rest of that drive down. It finally quit throbbing about the time we got down to Destin.
I had 5 get in my sweatpants. I was, as a kid, I forgot exactly what I threw. I think it was a pine cone at their nest. Very smart. Back when we had 3 channels. There wasn't a lot to do. But, man, they ended up in my sweatpants. Ooh. That was some pain. Those things are mean, man. The yellow jacket.
My dad's got a similar story. He hit a stop sign that had a yellow jacket's nest with a baseball bat because one of his friends told him to.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah,
and
really.
they all attacked him, and now he's allergic to all bee venom.
No.
Because he got stung
So
so
if he
badly
gets stung, he's got to go immediately to the emergency room? Or has he got some sort of serum?
He'll take care of it himself.
Oh, okay.
He's a nurse.
EpiPen.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Your dad's in medical. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he likes to avoid going to the doctor, too.
Yeah.
Which says a lot.
Understandable, though.
Key West police say a man told officers, quote, "Today is my birthday," after being told he was under arrest for stealing a conch tour train on the 4th of July. Now, according to the arrest report, July 4th was indeed Jonathan Winslow's birthday, his 57th. He is facing 3 criminal charges after being accused of taking one of the famous vehicles on a meth-fueled joyride. Now, there's the conch tour train there. Look at that hair on our man.
I mean, that's active.
Do you pronounce it?
I think it's conch.
A conch.
Conch,
Is the way I was gonna
conch.
go. Yeah. Which he probably thought was something else.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I did not see the end.
Arrest report states that Winslow, Big Torch Key, interesting city, left his Kia behind at the depot, still running with, quote, rock music playing on the radio.
Rock music.
Police
I'm going to go look at some conchs.
Police said an employee told officers that he came into the depot, claimed he used to work for the company years ago, and asked for the tour of the train. That's when he got into one of the vehicles and drove off, leaving the employee, quote, confused.
What part of London are you from, sir? I don't know, but where are all the conchs? Give me the conchs.
It's a large conch right there, though.
Yeah.
A man who fled the scene of a single vehicle rollover on Sunday was apprehended after a unique but unsuccessful getaway attempt, according to authorities. Officers were called to the crash scene around 7 o'clock on Sunday. Driver fled the scene on foot, jumped into a canal, attempted to swim away, according to a department spokesperson. Quote, with the assurance or the assistance of a police dog and drone unit, the individual was observed doing the backstroke across the canal and was arrested upon reaching the opposite bank. Speaking of these drones now, it is hard to be a Richard Kimball from The Fugitive on the Run because they send the drones out now.
Yeah, you're not going to get away anymore, I don't think. This is so random you brought that up. I was thinking about, so I was driving home July 4th.
It looks like he's having Dunaway success in the water.
I mean, why do you pick the backstroke? That's the toughest of the disciplines.
I was going to say,
this is the real guy as well.
Okay.
I was going to say that is an early taunting flag, that you're backstroking away from authorities.
So you can't catch me.
Yeah.
Even I in a backstroke.
You can't backstroke and not look like you're taunting at that point.
Does anybody backstroke for exercise, though?
I will say it's my least favorite of the Olympic swimming events is the backstroke.
It just looks lazy.
I don't know if it looks lazy. I just don't like watching it. I far prefer the forward swimming in the Olympics. If I'm going to watch swimming at all, I'm going to watch the forward swimming, not the backward swimming.
My favorite's the butterfly. I don't know why.
Well, that's forward.
I know.
Yeah, no, I don't hate the butterfly.
Yeah.
Now, I think I just like the freestyle where they tear
fast
after
as you can go.
Fast as you can go. Get there as quick as you can.
I like the butterfly, but if you're ever like racing your friend in the pool butterfly style, eventually if they fall behind, they'll go freestyle.
Oh, that's right.
They'll
Try to catch up. Yeah. I mean, the butterfly, it looks like it would really work your shoulders. I bet you.
I do freestyle and I do a little bit of the butterfly.
Right.
When I'm swimming just for exercise, I try to swim almost every day. But I've got a torn rotator cuff. My left.
Yeah, you can't.
And you hear about zero impact, but swimming is one of the worst things for it.
Yeah, but backstroke, a little backstroke action for you. Work a different muscle.
I'll tell you, my robot, I was asking great countries to live in
outside
of the United States. I know.
One.
But it brought up Switzerland. It was like, and their health care is incredible. It could help you out with your rotator cuff.
You're like, how did you know I tore my rotator cuff?
Just They know everything going on.
Well, I mean, obviously, you've mentioned them 3 times. You're talking to it too much. It's
know.
going to know everything about you at this point.
Well,
what movie am I going to watch tonight?
I got rid of the AI chat because it was way too personal. This is just the Grok thing that I think a lot of people have, right?
It's an AI thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's still AI.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same person.
It's the same thing, just with a name. You named this one.
Yeah, but see, that's what I thought. I thought it was one like huge AI brain. But if you ask the different, like
Tyler,
it's not like Skynet.
No, but that's what I was going to put in. So it is different because if you put in who's going to be the 12-team playoff in college football, you're going to get a different answer every time.
Yep, and you'll get different answers based on what prompt you give it, how you ask the question.
Yeah, like no joke, before I asked, is Dabo Swinnney overrated earlier? I said, who are the most overrated college football coaches of all time in my and I promise you the 5th one was Hugh Freeze.
Of all time?
Of all time was number 5.
That's probably because he hears us talking about him.
Probably
right?
because he hears us talking about it all the time.
In the chat room, RTD4 is like, LT's robot is like, damn, this guy has too many questions. I am going to need a day off soon.
Well,
robot, you get tired.
I'm sorry, you have reached your limit today.
I will tell you, I wear the Google out. I mean, I just Google things at all time, right? And so now I've kind of transitioned a lot of my Google over to the robot.
Yeah, the robot's going to be like, hey, I need to talk, man. I could use a day away from you if you don't mind.
Hey, robot, can you host trivia for me tonight at Odie's?
Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Can I at least drive?
I haven't got a Forrester laugh on that one. Yeah.
When it comes to...
Dunaway, I'm going to go level 2. My robot's going to be part of the next segment.
Yeah. Oh, I am going to check something. Speaking of trivia, though.
Yeah. I downloaded finally Chat GPT. I never had done that because I just didn't want it on my phone because of what ended up happening.
What happened?
I downloaded it and instantly I was like, oh, I wonder is this where people can turn a picture into a Pixar character? And so I took a picture and I changed it into a Pixar character. Then I took another picture and turned it into a cartoon. Then I took another picture and turned it into this. And then next thing you know, it wrote back and was like, you've reached your daily limit.
That'll be $89.95.
I was like, I've had this 40 minutes and I've reached my daily limit already.
No, I do think we're going to get lazier and lazier with the assistance of the robot because I just asked this.
Yeah, that's it. It is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Atrophy. It's going to kill you.
Right.
So
I'm never getting out of bed.
I normally try to dig around and have a very interesting trivia question to end our night.
You do?
I just Googled, give me a good trivia question, robot.
Yeah.
And it says, which planet in our solar system has the most moons?
To me,
I don't think it's a great trivia question.
No, but
to
I
me,
think
it's
that is
Jupiter.
going to be Jupiter. It would be my answer.
I think Jupiter has 12.
Yeah.
The answer is Jupiter. It says this question is engaging because it tests general knowledge about the solar system, and the answer might surprise some people due to Jupiter's impressive numbers of moon, currently known to have 95 with potentially more undiscovered.
No, they've
that's too many moons.
Yeah,
they've watered down what a moon is at this point. There's some rocks.
You're not going to respect the moon if you've got that many, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Does Uranus have moons?
I hope not. Finally,
like that would hurt.
Brown offbeat holidays in July.
I used to like these till Jim ruined it.
Yeah. Oh, they're actually offbeat holidays for July, not brown ones.
No. What does your Adidas guy say about Brown when he says anything about offbeat holidays in July?
He actually agrees with Brown. He likes the offbeat holidays.
First one was actually yesterday, July 8th, National Freezer Pop Day.
Oh, I used to like freezer pops.
Just to cut the end off and
the Otter Pop.
Yeah, I used to love those.
No stick.
Nope.
July 13th, Embrace Your Geekness Day and National Barbershop Music Appreciation Day.
I do not like barbershop quartets.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could get 100 freeze pops in my childhood for like $2.99.
I think you still can.
It's not
that mesh bag
now.
Yeah, they were very cheap.
It's the one pack that comes in that like red netting like material.
And the neighborhood mom did not mind every kid getting one because she's like, I got like $1.50 invested in these.
Yeah, but you know what got on everybody's nerve is throw them in the trash when you're through. Don't leave them laying around. They start blowing around.
Because it leaves a sticky piece of plastic.
And
is
then
what
the
it
yellow
leaves.
jackets come.
Back full circle. July 14th, National Mac and Cheese Day. Big fan.
Love it.
We'll be in Atlanta. there a good mac and cheese place in Atlanta?
I'll find one. Yeah. I'll be happy to find one.
I know a good mac and cheese place around here. I don't know if they have multiple locations, though. You can build your own mac and cheese. Pick the different kinds of cheeses you want.
It's got protein in it? Like I can put like barbecue or whatever?
Yeah, you can do like buffalo chicken or barbecue or lobster.
I'll get more on that.
Lobster. Jalapenos?
Oh, yeah, I had the lobster mac and cheese and it was delicious.
I always thought the lobster, I'm just not a big lobster guy though. Now they had at the Landing last weekend, they had a lobster BLT.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I just assume it's not really lobster.
It probably isn't, but it was good. Well, actually, for the price I paid, it should have been. They upcharge you.
And I will tell you, there's still a place that's got a really good lobster taco around here. I had that a couple of weeks ago. July 17th, National Peach Ice Cream Day and National Tattoo Day. We'll be back again in Atlanta. You can get you another tattoo.
Yeah, another tat, and I'll get some peach ice cream.
I got a couple in mind. I'm eating through my first basket of Chilton County peaches right now. Just to go in the side bowl as I'm eating dinner. I had a little pork and rice and Brussels dish last night, and I had some fresh Chilton County peaches.
Oh, heck yeah. Peaches are good with pork chops.
Cut the palate and reset it there. It was delicious.
July 20th is National Ugly Truck Contest Day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those around here.
Yeah.
People like to lower just the back end of their truck and then also just put a very bright underglow kit on it.
Or just buy the Tesla truck.
Yeah. My buddy Mike just got a brand new truck. He went all the way to Franklin, Tennessee to buy it.
Wow.
I was like, God, you shop around more than I do.
Well, I wouldn't think you'd save money in Franklin on anything.
I know. I just went to, I bought mine when I was doing a remote with Bo. He'd just tell me it's time to buy a new one, Jim. And
they all had side wagers on that. You think you can get done away to buy a car? Of course. How long will it take, though?
Yeah.
July 21st, take a monkey to lunch day. I've never heard of this.
I'm going to pass on that one.
Jeff Banks, right?
Yep.
And finally, July 27th, Barbie in a blender day and take your house plant for a walk day. Some stupid ass holidays.
I would agree.
Yep.
Independence Day was the best.
I think it was probably July when I made that statement.
What statement?
About the one that you don't like that I said about holidays. July's such a fun month. Why does it have such bad holidays? Because we're all outside doing fun things?
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah. It's the cold months that have got to have good ones, like January and February. All right, that's Trash Today, brought to you in part by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew down there at Great Southern Fried Chicken that is brined overnight and cooked to order. Just a wonderful place. He loves good sports there on TV, perfect for tailgating. What a crazy night in Major League Baseball last night. The A's, no first name, A's playing in Sacramento beat the Braves 10-1. Lawrence Butler led off the A's bottom of the first with an inside the park home run. A few miles away in San Francisco, Patrick Bailey had an inside park home run as a walk-off winner for the Giants. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, by the way, Patrick Bailey, a catcher.
A catcher.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like Little League right there. Two inside the park home runs.
There's no way that's ever happened in the history of Major League Baseball.
It's the first time a catcher has had an inside the park home run since Benny Tate did it in 1926. And Benny Tate,
he was playing for the Bean Eaters.
He's dead as a hammer.
Yeah,
from Whitwell, Tennessee.
How about that? Go Vols.
And he is no longer with us. Yeah. The crazy night. Back 2 nights, one walk-off, one lead-off, inside the park home runs in Major League Baseball.
I have never seen one in person.
Me
outside of Little League.
Yeah, I'm talking about Major League Baseball.
Major League. I've never seen one either in person.
That's our show today. Don't forget a new Meltdown today at 2 o'clock. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. These guys at Odie's tonight, Odie's Team Trivia. Go by and say hi to them. Don't forget lanceslock.com. And don't forget to set your automatic downloads right at Apple and Spotify. If you miss any part of the live show, you can always go back and catch it on our video and audio platforms. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.